The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. This program starts now.
Football!
It's wonderful, and Week 13 ended with a Jameis Winston special on Monday Night Football. And we couldn't have expected that Tampa Bay Jameis would be back ever, but boy, we were pumped that he was. Now, if you were a Browns plus 6.5 better, you certainly didn't love the way that game ended. But with how it was unfolding, with him setting a franchise record for the Cleveland Browns in pass yards in one night, also throwing 2 pick sixes, 3 total interceptions in the same evening, that's Jameis Winston football to a T. He's electrifying. He is exciting. It's the same thing that could be said about Iron Mike Chandler of the UFC. This guy is going to make sure that the fight is exciting. He's going to get punched in the face. He's going to make some mistakes. He might win. He's never going to tap out and stop. That's Jameis Winston.
Yep.
They're always going to be in it because in a flash, boom, 70-plus yard touchdown. In a flash, boom, he's throwing it to the other team. The other team's taking it the other way. Boom! Then he's making an incredible throw, an incredible decision. Then he's giving a hype-up speech on the sideline. Then he's leading men to a massive comeback victory. Down in the fourth quarter. Less than 2 minutes to go. This is Jameis Winston football.
Here we go.
And that could have went only 2 ways. He goes all the way down, and they score, and it's awesome. Or he throws a pick six the other way.
Exactly.
And the way this one went, pick six the other way. And now the Broncos cover. The Browns don't win, don't cover. And the Cleveland Browns experience for Jameis Winston, I do fear, is going to end after this year. Yeah. Now, with that being said, this Browns team's got to figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
They got to figure it out.
Boy.
This Broncos team, you guys should be pumped about where you're at. With how much you have been leveraged against in the salary cap because of the Russell Wilson deal, who, by the way, he just threw for 414 yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers, only making $1 million because you guys are paying the $43 million out of your salary cap this year, and then there's another 40-some million coming out of it next year. But nonetheless, Sean Payton, Bo Nix, this defense that they have is awesome to watch, even though they gave up a bunch of yards to Jameis. They're opportunistic to make plays. We're going to be joined by Nick Bonitto today, obviously fresh off a pick six where he was running 19.88 miles per hour in the second quarter, first half. It is it's a wonderful time for Denver Broncos fans in a very tough division, and congrats on a big win to wrap up Week 13.
Hey, Denver.
That man will be joining us. He was striding out, too. Wasn't even running his full speed. Could have topped out at 20 if he really wanted to. But that's Jameis Winston football, you know. And Nick Bonitto is having a hell of a year. Can't wait to chat with him. We'll also we'll be joined by Coach DeBoer. Head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He will be joining us, obviously, on the same day in which the College Football Playoff Committee will be putting out their rankings this evening as we inch closer and closer to this 12-team playoff actually happening. As we go into championship weekend, which will decide who gets the first-round buys. That's it. That's the only thing this weekend decides is who gets the first-round buys of the Power Four or the top 4 champions of their conferences ranked by the College Football Playoff Committee. But how many teams right now are on the outside looking in? How many teams from each conference are on the inside of the playoff no matter what happens this weekend? That's what we learned tonight. This is last week's bracket. And the more and more chatter is that there's going to be 3 SEC teams, 2 ACC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, 1 Big 12 team, and then 1 independent, and then 1 Power 5 group champion. But then conversations take place about what happens in games, rivalry games, how teams look. Who knows what any of this is going to look like? And this Alabama team is certainly a team that's going to be making a case for, like, hold on, we got wins over Georgia. We got wins over a lot of big teams. Yeah, Oklahoma, we shit the bed. Okay?
Sure.
In Vandy, we did as well. And against Tennessee, we lost. But if you look at our wins, we got more top 10 wins than anybody else that's even in this potential conversation. Then you look at Ole Miss, who's also in the SEC. They're like, we're 2 ACC teams are allowed to get in. Let's go ahead and check how many they've kind of got in there. We're not going to have a 4th SEC. Okay, so there is, which is exactly what this has always been.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yep.
Let's go to one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone. Obviously wrote a book on college football. He's published. He's an author. Thousands and thousands of books sold going into this college football season, so we appreciate you. You were just kind of giving a side eye whenever I said there's probably going to be, not probably, I don't have a vote.
Perhaps.
The conversation is 3 SEC teams, 2 ACC teams, 4 Big Ten teams. You gave me a little side eye there. What's that all about?
I did because, I'm always monitoring the sports books, and that 2 ACC, 3 SEC, if you look at the sports books, could be 4 SEC, 1 ACC. Alabama has jumped to minus 200 to make the playoffs.
And those are the sports book. Is that only an ESPN bet, though?
Good question.
Yeah, is that only an ESPN bet?
Multiple
SEC, ESPN.
Multiple sports books, all the sports books actually. So there's a case, where SMU wins and Bama jumps Miami and Miami doesn't get in, so that would be your SMU 1 ACC and 4 SEC teams. So it's very likely, or based on the sports books, that Bama could be that 4th.
Now, Bama fresh off a win in the Iron Bowl, obviously,
Yeah.
against Auburn. Can't wait to talk to Coach DeBoer and how he's been treating all this, this chatter and conversation. We've been hearing Lane Kiffin's been very active on social media, making his case, which is, hey, that's why we love him.
Amen.
Exactly.
That's why we love him. I'll be excited to hear Kalen's thought. First year, at Alabama. Also, how's that been? Hey, you're the guy that you're replacing. They named the field that you're coaching on after him.
Yeah.
So, how's it going?
Is it fun?
It is. It's a good time. And Coach Saban reminds all of us every single time we have dinner with him or whatever, 26 guys left Alabama after Saban retired. Because there's that 2-week period where it's like actual poaching season. Like, hey, if a coach retires or a coach leaves, I guess there's a 2-week period where any team is allowed to tamper. Any team is allowed to reach out and basically say, like, hey, here we go. This is what we'd like to do. And when you're Alabama and you got 5 stars all the way through there, that place got, everybody talks about downs in the center that go up to Ohio State and, guys and wide receivers that travel out there. There was a Bond, there's a bunch of people in there, I guess, that were like, Coach, the way Coach Saban says, like, that guy would have been.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. So he has yet to be able to put his whole program, I think, into Alabama program. But the legends like Jalen Milroe sticking around for him. And on defensive side, some of the pillars sticking around for him. How has it been, like, kind of modeling the future with now and everything like that? He's a friend of the program. I can't wait to talk to him. Cannot wait to talk to him.
Yeah.
And what has it been like down in the South?
Yeah.
Because I experience it on Saturdays. If I have to pick against a school's team, they are so mean.
It's tough.
They are so mean. These college football fans are mean.
Different down there.
They are talented at being mean, too. They put some words together that you didn't even know they could put together to say bad things about you. So whenever he loses to Vandy,
Oh,
Man, oh, man.
down there in Alabama, just think about Roll Tide Willie. What do you think about, he's like maybe the most positive
Yeah.
and most entertaining Alabama fan I've seen ever, and I think, but just think about the passion that he has. He's not, they're, think about a Roll Tide Willie in a negative way.
Yeah.
And then multiply that by a bunch, you lose the Vandy.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're coming back to coach at Saban. This is not how we do this whole thing. So how has Kalen DeBoer done this one right here?
Yeah.
Grocery store, we're like, just in life.
Everything.
How is it going? I'm excited to hear that from him.
Especially coming from Washington, where it's just like he's bulletproof walking around there. It's just like, wow, this is unbelievable. Look at us. We win every single Saturday. If we don't, okay, whatever. Like, we've never really been as good as we are now. And then you go and it's like, listen, you son of a bitch, I don't care that everyone left. I don't care that, Saban's not here anymore. You better win 11 games this year. You better get into the playoff, and we better be in that national championship game.
Vandy?
Yeah.
We're losing to Vandy?
It's like Ohio State and Indiana.
You got Coach Saban, exactly. You got Coach Saban saying, all right, every place in the SEC is tough to play. Obviously, excluding
Except for
Vandy.
Vandy.
So, like, that's how he feels. And he doesn't say that about anything. Like, he is like so think about what Alabama fans feel like.
Oh, God.
So then that team, they beat Georgia, obviously. Massive. Holy shit.
Number 1 in the country.
This is a huge, and the way that game went, big early, come back, have to answer. It's like, okay, this Alabama team is like kind of foolproof. Then you lose to Vandy at Vandy, and that's when I'm excited to chit-chat with them, legit, because their team still very much could make it.
Yeah.
They have a player that can take over any game on offense in Jalen Milroe. If he's fastest guy on the field, whenever he's on the field. So they have everything still in front of them if they are elected to be able to. And if they do, people are going to be so pissed.
Oh, yeah.
So everywhere. People are going to be pissed at Ole Miss. So that's SEC hate. People are going to be, the whole ACC is going to be pissed.
Yeah, Miami.
The whole,
those fans, you met them.
all traveled all the way out to Berkeley. They're going to be pissed. Then Big Ten fans are going to be like, of course, ESPN gets 4 SEC schools in, even though they have to. And in the Big 12, they might not even be in the top 4 ranked champions. So they might not even get a first-round bye, and they're still considered a P4 conference. So, I mean, everybody's going to be pissed.
Yep.
That's college football. And that's why we love it. I mean, all right, let's get back to last night's game. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. Everything DB, good D, bad D host. He's one of the best segments going right now, strictly because you talk about shit that I don't think a lot of people understand. Last night, what is your big takeaway? Obviously, a lot of points scored on the defenses, but what are your thoughts on the 2 Ds that took the field? Because these are 2 defenses that are highly regarded by, I think, like everybody in football.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Coming into the game, especially this Denver defense, they've been great. Missing one of their corners with Riley Moss. You had Levi Wallace in there who gave up a ton of yards, and obviously the big story was Jerry Jeudy coming back home to him, talking about it, him having a huge game, most receiving yards against a former team ever with 235. But even when you bend and you give up all those yards, it's about making big-time plays on the football, and not only making those plays, but getting them to the end zone. So Nick Bonitto, obviously, he had a big one. As a big man out there in space, it was like a quarters coverage, him being patient, reading, Jameis Winston picking it off, and then taking it back to the crib. You don't see that much from a big fella, especially a guy that's leading his team in sacks. You know, having 11 sacks this year, career high for him, and that team, that defense as a whole coming into this game was leading the entire NFL in sacks. And then Jaquan McMillan, one of their best nickelbacks, one of the best nickelbacks in the league, has struggled a little bit at times, but had a big game last night, had a bunch of breakups, I think 4 PBUs, and then this huge pick 6 to pretty much seal this game. So just wire to wire. You know what Pat Surtain is on the outside as well. So, yeah, just phenomenal defensive effort when it comes to throwing the ball.
Are you expecting Cleveland Browns to throw the ball 58 times against this Denver Broncos defense?
No, I mean, that's a tough front to run against. Chubb couldn't really get going early, and it is Jameis Winston football. That's why I picked Jay.
But think about that. He's a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But and they're like,
get in there.
Yeah, there it is. We know.
They said Jeudy was obviously a big part of the game plan, and Njoku's always a good weapon. Elijah Moore, he got off as well. And Jameis, I mean, you put the ball in his hands, and he's going to make great things happen. And he's also going to make great things happen for the defense as well. That's Jameis Winston football. You said it earlier, 500 yards. In this game, I mean, I expected kind of a snooze fest coming into it, but it got electric. At one point, I think it was back-to-back plays, 70-yard touchdown, 70-plus yard touchdown pass from both of these quarterbacks. Bo Nix, he had a good game as well. And then that defense made plays on the ball as well with Denzel Ward, forcing one turnover with a big PBU to Greg Newsome, and then having another interception down the field as well. So guys making plays on the ball as DBs, obviously I love that. But these quarterbacks, I mean, I think both quarterbacks obviously gave their team a chance to win the game, but then it ended.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy that Jameis is like, what was he offered? Like $2 million or whatever some deal that was whatever. And he's what? He's cutting ribbons at like opening events. He's saying about the Browns on the program. He's coming up with stuff, and then he becomes a starter. And I'm reading more stats here as it comes over. I think Pro Football Talk did Winston has thrown 218 passes in 5 starts.
Legend.
So this guy got paid nothing. Okay, remember, nobody won.
Nice. Yeah.
But now Kevin Stefanski's got him in the building, and he's playing, and they're like, Jameis Winston's here. That means one thing and one thing. Yeah, we got Chubb.
Okay.
But
sit down.
See, also, we got Jameis Winston. So that's 43.6 attempts per game. Last night he threw it 58 times.
Yeah, dude.
That's what the Browns.
I think Jeudy is obviously had a huge game last night. I think I saw something. He's leading the league in receiving yards since Jameis become the starter. And going into last night's game, he was 30th in the league in receiving yards. It jumped up to number 5. So I mean, look, you're gonna have opportunity. Anybody on the field, anybody on the field when Jameis Winston's playing quarterback has an opportunity to catch the ball.
Yes,
anybody.
they do.
D linemen, DBs, wide receivers, tight ends, running back, everybody.
And once again, that's why we love it. It is.
I mean,
and then the speeches. You got speeches literally from before the game even starts.
Oh, he had a post game.
Also unbelievable.
Which one are you talking about? Come on, Jesus, please. Pick six is enough.
Yeah.
Have I not thrown enough? Here's James talking about his pick six situations.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
So the reason why that is so fantastic is because obviously, you know, that is something that's prayable, I guess.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you what, the DBs on the other side are praying that they continue to get them. So we'll be excited to see whose prayers are better. And if somebody has to shape the words and that's how Jesus decides who he's going with, I think James will win that.
Yeah.
Because, boy, whenever he's in front of a microphone, it is must watch. Whenever he's on a football field, it's must watch. Good news. We have an exclusive trailer. What Jameis Winston's going to be a part of
Yes.
in that Cleveland Browns organization. What Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and that Cincinnati Bengals organization is going to be a part of. What John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson, and that Baltimore Ravens organization is going to be a part of. And then Mike Tomlin, Russell Wilson, and Pittsburgh Steelers organization is going to be a part of.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on Mox, formerly HBO. Mox.
Of course.
Now just Mox.
Formerly HBO Go.
Formerly just HBO.
Yeah, just HBO before
And
that.
just
And just
was that? Nope. Don't have to get into it.
Okay. I think it was.
So now we're just Mox.
Now
Yeah,
it's
just
just
Mox.
Mox.
Okay, it is Mox, and we apologize to the Mox people. We are very thankful that we get an opportunity to debut that. We're just trying to make sure everybody's caught up.
Just so we know.
Because it is going to be must watch. Ladies and gentlemen, an exclusive piece from tonight's Hard Knocks AFC North in season, debuting 9 p.m. Eastern on Mox.
All right, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back. Hope everybody's refreshed. All right, morning, guys. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning. Man, we got a great day planned for you today. I'm going to outline what we're going to do and why. Man, let's get back to business.
All right, we're going to go here. We're going to really roll, okay? Because, hey, we got to go. All right, we got a short week. We got a lot to do.
Let's zoom out. Okay, let's zoom out. Who wants to be in the playoffs? Raise your hand.
Yeah, right.
Guess what? You're in the playoffs. Look at that board. Look at it.
We're half game behind in the division. We know what's in front of us. 5 regular season games to go.
Okay, our division. Here. Good AFC team. Good AFC team. You want to be in the playoffs? Congratulations. You made it to the playoffs.
We got to run over and through this group, particularly as this road gets narrow. And we determine who is elite and who isn't.
We got to play our best football in December, okay? We always say that going into the season because these games are going to come down to anyone in this room making any play in any phase.
As such, our preparation has to be on point. All right? How are we going to want to know?
Stay focused. Want to know mindset. Want to know mindset in our football. Want to know good meeting. Want to know good, take a good note. Want to know, make sure I got this defense down. I'm talking football, man. This is my game. I'm playing. I'm showing, I'm helping. I'm doing my part. I'm playing ball because I'm a great player. How do I do my part? Creating turnovers, sacks, being the turning point in the game.
To me, man, a lot of it boils down to this right here. Where are you mentally in terms of the things that it is you need to do to secure victory? Your approach to business on a day-to-day basis. Are you thriving or surviving? When it gets difficult in practice or in game, do you thrive or survive?
When things get tough in a long season that is designed to weed out the not real contenders, embrace it.
Victorious Warriors win first and then go to battle.
You got to put yourself in that position in meetings, practice. If this play comes down to me in that moment, am I ready to go? Am I prepared to take advantage?
You got your head buried in the sand if you don't think there's tangible reasons why these things happen. And if you lack it in that middle toughness area, if you are a survivor, man, your ass better grow and grow quickly. And so that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about back to business. And our business is winning.
That's a cold bar to end that thing.
Facts.
I can't wait to watch. You know, the offseason with the New York Giants was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, top.
We got to see things that we didn't think we should be able to see. It feels like with this opening shot, Hard Knocks might be back to their fastball.
Yeah.
Hard Knocks might be back to saying, hey, every team's social media account has content. Every team's digital team has an ability to display what happens in the building. We used to be the only place you used to be able to do that. Hard Knocks on HBO was the only place you get a chance to see what's happening behind the curtain in these NFL buildings. Now with social media, digital media, you're seeing a lot more. So Hard Knocks, I think, just kind of became a part of the content. But then the big-ass brains over there said, hey, we got to
pivot.
Then the off-season one happened with the Giants, and it was like, hold the phone. Are they real? There's good shit coming out of this because no social media team's going to put that out. Then with this one, it sounds like we are in it.
Oh, yeah.
We are absolutely in it. We did reach out to ask them some questions, and you have to remember with Hard Knocks, the team is, obviously NFL Films is vast. It is a big thing. It is literally the 33rd team in the NFL. They've been producing and creating the NFL product into what it is today since the very beginning. And remember, Steve Sable Sr., his voice and his shots are the things that have basically made the NFL become what the NFL. NFL Films has a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of power. They are the governing body of how the NFL is to be received by people.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great relationship with the NFL Films people. They work their asses off. Now, some would say maybe they're stretched too thin.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Because everything the NFL is
Lot
involved
going
in,
on.
the NFL Films is obviously a part of because, hey, this is our league. We better make sure this is to the standard in which we have, which is very high. And if you have NFL Films on it, it's like fucking Scorsese's on this thing with the level of shit that they're, it is very, very high level. They're still finishing the edit of tonight's show like right now.
Yep.
Like it is still very much happening. So when I got a chance to reach out and talk to him this morning, I'm like, how are you guys going to do this? What's it going to be about? How long have you been filming? Recent filming. They did not start filming at like the beginning of the season, so it is going to be all very recent. There's been a lot of rivalry games that have happened in this AFC North, and I think what you're going to learn about through a lot of the conversation is like how these cities feel about each other and how the AFC North, Tomlin has said it, and I can't wait to hear more Tomlinisms.
Yes.
And I'm excited to watch another hardball coach, right, the way that goes. Stefanski, interesting go, but have to get the boys riled up whenever, you know, you only got 3 wins and everything like that. Zach Taylor, fascinating. But, like, whenever Tomlin says, you know, like, everything is going to be about like winning, I think they're going to try to showcase that the city feels that way too, like Pittsburgh feels that way. I think they're going to try to showcase that Baltimore feels that way. I think they're going to try to showcase like the happiness of these cities depend upon these teams. And whenever Tomlin says the AFC North is the kitchen and it's hot in the kitchen, I think they're going to try to showcase that like, hey, they do feel different. Just like people in the SEC feel about SEC football, like AFC North towns, and I'm not saying they're the only division in football that are like this, but AFC North towns, the happiness of the cities depends upon the NFL team, and I think that is going to be one of the acting parts of this particular Hard Knocks. So I think we have a chance to experience things that are a little bit different. I think we're going to get inside glimpses at shit that we haven't been able to see before and teams would never put out, and I also think we're going to get a chance to really ride alongside some teams that have a chance to go on a run. And the in-season ones haven't been great because the teams haven't gone on runs. 2 of these teams, we think,
for sure,
have a chance to go on real runs. One of those teams has maybe another MVP in it. The storylines of Russell Wilson only get paid $1 million. Justin Fields, with the way they've been handling that. What's going on with Lamar? Where they're at? Derek, it's like the storylines. I think it's going to be a good season. I think it's going to be a good season of Hard Knocks.
I can't wait. I've never had a team in Hard Knocks, and Hard Knocks has been awesome. And just watching that, I can't wait to watch some behind the scenes of the Steelers. But the Steelers, the only AFC North games that are done. Baltimore's played Cincy twice. The rest of them still have to happen. And then, you know, the Steelers have to play the Eagles and KC on Christmas Day. Baltimore still got the Texans and a potential, division like deciding game versus Steelers. It's all gonna be awesome. And then like the teams like the Browns and the Bengals, like Zach Taylor and Stefanski, like what happens with them? Like how do they finish out their seasons? I mean, the Bengals still aren't mathematically eliminated. It's going to be tough, but they're still.
The eye test says they are.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
You hear what you said about the defense yesterday, Tony?
Yeah.
What was that stat? 33 plus points for teams that have scored that. They're like 1-3. Everybody else is 53-1.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like the Bengals are going to have to experience that. We're going to watch that, you know?
Yeah.
And there's 2 teams on every team, offense and defense.
For sure. And then obviously the special teams phase as well, which is very important. I'm interested to see how Baltimore handles that, what's going on with Justin Tucker. But you mentioned it. You got 2 teams who we expect to be contenders down the stretch. The Bengals kind of there, and then the Browns, you know, still trying to figure out a lot of things there. So we get to see see the behind the scenes of all those different things in this division. And I think it's for good head coaches too. I think it's for good head coaches have shown they're good head coaches in this league. And you saw even in that clip, like, how similar these team meetings go and how similar and how, like, repetitive it is too, even as players. Like, we've been in 1,000 of these meetings, and you know, if you're 3-7 or you're 3-8 at some point in the season, it can get ugly. It's really on that coach to kind of get the guys going, whatever it takes, whatever message, the team, the leadership within those rooms. So I'm interested to see how the rest of the season continues to unfold. But yeah, been in those meetings, watching those coaches and how they motivate. Like Harbaugh, Tomlin, they've been in those places forever. So you have those OGs that have been in those meet rooms hearing Tomlin say pretty much preach the same message for 10, 12 years, and now we get to kind of see it all unfold as this division. We know what this division is as a football fan, unfold week in and week out. It's going to be pretty dope.
Yeah, congrats to Hard Knocks. Seemingly getting another banger.
Smart.
Congrats to NFL Films. We're excited to watch tonight. And joining us now is a head coach who has got his team in a spot where they could be selected for the 12-team college football playoff.
Hell yeah.
Now, there's other teams, obviously, that are jockeying for position, but he is hoping that what his team has put on film and put on the books is enough to get them into the dance. Once you get into the dance, who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, first-year head coach at Alabama. Roll, Tide, roll. Ladies and gentlemen, Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
Coach, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you again. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well. You look good. You've been fit. We've been working out, not eating. What's going on? You look you look fit right now.
I appreciate that. That's a comment I guess I'll take right now. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. We were just talking about Hard Knocks and the way Hard Knocks, they gave us an exclusive trailer, and it's basically all four coaches handling a team meeting. And their message is all basically the same. Mm-hmm. Got to win every day. Got to win this week. We can't think ahead. Do you watch other coaches? Do you talk to other coaches? And how do you come up with your messaging to the team each week?
Yeah, I mean, I take what's within because I think the people within are really good on our staff, and they know exactly what we're going through. But I think there are people that you can go to here and there, maybe people that understand you, have had experiences that you can go to, regularly and kind of get some ideas on just how to approach maybe that week. And that's the beautiful thing about the coaching profession. There is a kind of fraternity of guys that, you can really count on.
Yeah, and your messaging obviously matters, and being able to deliver it in ways that your team doesn't get bored is obviously a big part of coaching and mindset and framing. Let's talk about this year for you at Alabama. How's it been kind of, I don't want to say separating yourself from Coach Saban, but taking a team that was already very successful? Obviously, legend GOAT is retiring and leaving. Now we're at the end of this season. You just get your first, Iron Bowl win.
Hell yeah.
Big win over Auburn at home. Big win over Georgia. Big win over Georgia. Other wins, now a couple losses, obviously. How has this season gone, you think, from your perspective of leading the Alabama football team?
Well, I think the whole year has been segmented, right? There's the craziness of everything happening back in the winter months, and then you work to the point where you get in the fall, and that's where you really, that's when the bullets are flying, right? And you really find out, who you are, whether it's myself and how to relate to the team, or them figuring out who I am and our staff as well. But you go through those adverse moments, you go through those good times as well, and your response is what you can control. And so I'm really proud of the resiliency our team has. I think it shows up in games throughout the course of the game, but I think it showed up over the season and how we come back each and every week. And I get to see it on the football field and practice every day, and I just couldn't be more proud of the way these guys continue to show their love for the game, the pride they have in the program, the standard that we have set as far as the work being the work, and how that translates to game day and the success we have there.
You got some special talent, obviously, on that team, and Coach Saban has mentioned it a few times about the amount of guys that left after he retired and what the roster looked like whenever you got there, and then obviously the amount of time you have with transfer portal recruiting and trying to keep your own guys. How do you feel about, I don't want to say your culture being created, but like you're imprint on these guys and like your messaging, the way you view things. Do you feel like you guys are all speaking the same language now? Because obviously, anytime humans interact, there's a grace period. But when did you know maybe this year that you guys are all on the same page, or is that thing still happening?
I think it continues to happen, but I think the response after a couple losses is when you really kind of start to understand it. And when you have the success after those losses and you're able to dial in on what you really wanted the message and continue to have the message be, and that's focusing on only what lies ahead, learning from the past, and just, understanding what those character traits were, what the work is that really gets you the wins, the success, which comes, results in wins on Saturday. So, yeah, I mean, the roster and just all of that was certainly, again, part of the transition. And Coach Saban did a great job recruiting guys here. But in January, there was a lot of turnover, and us, filling in the gaps with guys that were coming up through the program, and the youth on our team getting these opportunities early in the season, I think really paid off here for us at the end with the depth, even with a couple injuries like everyone has. And us being able to play really good football. And now we're probably here this last week, going in the future, probably as healthy as we've been at any point throughout the season, with the exception of a couple guys that you've lost. But that depth's been really critical for our young guys.
It's a good time to be healthy, but how do you talk to the team about everything that goes on? Obviously, you've been around college ball a long time, all different levels. At the lower levels, actually, there seemingly is a better way to deem a champion than there is up here, with the way the tournament is, and then now with the amount of conversation that's going to take place. And what do you tell the team, and how do you kind of internalize all of it? Because obviously, deeming it a successful season for you, like first year there, you make the playoffs. That is first year he does that. But that is kind of out of your hands now, obviously, because of things that your team did. But how do you kind of handle that all?
Yeah, I think we've gotten to the point now, again, kind of going with the culture and everything you were talking about. It's gotten to the point where we can be really upfront and straightforward. And, I expressed to them that, hey, there's a committee that's got some tough decisions, and we all get that. There's so many great teams in college football. But I know from within, we're speaking, in terms of, that we're one of the best 12 teams the way we see it. And that's not egotistical. That's nothing arrogant. That's not the way I'm talking. But we understand who we are, and that we have to be ready. So this week it's about, the workouts. It's about, taking care of the things that are away from football to make sure there's no distractions when we get our opportunity. And, kind of reflecting on our strengths, and who we are, offensively, defensively, special teams, and, just continuing to breathe confidence into these guys and reminding us how far we've come, so that when we get to that point and we're back on the field preparing for hopefully another team and a playoff opportunity, we continue to hit the ground running and take off from where we were here this last weekend against Auburn.
Hell yeah, love to hear it. I assume the boys are ready to go, especially if they get the opportunity. You don't want to look at this or know this, but Sportsbook's got you guys at favorable odds to make the playoffs. So congratulations. I don't know what they know. I don't know what they know, but it sounds like the work is on purpose. There's a reason for everything they're doing. Last question from me before the boys have questions for you, and I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to chit-chat with us here. What's it been like first year as a head coach in the SEC? Because I got dropped into the college football world, okay, baptized, boom, with College Game Day. And we're making picks at the end of every show. So I'm going to piss off at least 10 fan bases. Just piss them off. And with the way I do stuff, every once in a while I'll start, start really rattling some reasoning off on why I feel a certain way for entertainment purposes for the program, but also, hey, this is how I got to my decision here. And boy, I learned quickly, some of those people down there in the South, it's Jesus Christ in that school right there. And it's like, if you say anything bad about either of them, you're going to get it. And I couldn't imagine, you're West Coast, obviously come from the West Coast, and Dakota and Indiana, you were there. But whenever being the Alabama head coach, and let's say Vandy happens, or, Tennessee or Oklahoma happens, how do you avoid it? What has it been like being a head coach at Alabama?
Yeah, it's a challenge that, that I was excited about. You go through your career and again, there's always new things that you deal with. I don't care what part of the country, what league, it doesn't matter. But, the SEC is just it's a grind every single week. That's what you sign up for when you come here. And that's what I tell our guys. And, you embrace the challenge, you embrace the competition and everything that comes with it. But, that's, I think, part of what prepares you for a postseason, especially a postseason run that includes now, up to 4 games for teams. And I think that stacking those games and going through a season like you have to, that grind, I think, only gives you, what you need, from a resiliency standpoint. Toughness, the physicality from week to week, being able to come back after 1 week and do it again the next week. That's what this, league's all about. But I think we have all those character traits that you need as a team. We have the explosiveness, we have the physicality. We're very balanced as a football team. That's when I see championship teams, and I've just, a year ago, saw what that looked like. I think about what's inside and who you are as a team, and also what you have as far as athletes on the football field and what that looks like, in all the different phases. And we have some strong strengths in a quarterback that as good as anyone in the country. He's elite, and anytime he's got the ball in his hands, you got a chance to hit a home run, both with his legs and his arm. And so up front, offensive line, defensive line, I think again we're what you're looking for when it comes to playing at that championship level. And that's why I said what I said, where I feel like we're one of those teams that is for sure good enough to be into the final 12.
That's a hell of a pitch right there.
Oh, yeah,
hey,
Coach.
That was a hell of a pitch, which leads to Connor's question for you, actually. And I want to let you know what you said there about Jalen. I couldn't echo any louder. Like, when he's on the field, every time he has the ball, it's like, and then, there's only been a few of those guys throughout, football that have happened. And he's electrifying. Been running it a little bit, hey,
oh, yeah.
Let's go ahead and let that thing go.
Still running it.
He's wide, still running. Boom. That's right. Connor has a question for you, though.
Yeah, Coach, with that being said, have you started to, compare your team to, other teams as far as resumes go? Is that something that someone's doing for you and bringing you sheets of paper like it seems Lane Kiffin has got going on at Ole Miss? Because he actually tweeted a full comparison between, Alabama, yourself, and Ole Miss.
I think, us knowing who we are and just kind of talking about that here like we are right now, I think that's really what it's all about. And it's easy for me because I'm excited about who we are as a football team, who we've become. And so I think that's really the biggest piece of it. We understand the games that we've played and the number of ranked teams we've beat. And I think, just talking about that has been kind of the focus. I guess that's, kind of what other programs would probably be doing too. So, but that again, the number of ranked teams throughout the year, who we are, and the strengths we have, offensively, defensively, and special teams. That's kind of what I'm focused on.
I love that this is a part of college ball. Yeah. Like Lane Kiffin's tweeting it. You're laying out like, hey, let's not forget. Let's not forget real quick. And then I'm getting texts from people from South Carolina. They're like, excuse me, mayor of Cocktown. What are we even talking about? Look at what we have been through. And if LSU doesn't get a penalty for a late hit on a pick six, we beat LSU. This is like a full-on... And this is the world. Hey, you're in it. Hey, congratulations, Coach. Congratulations.
Got a campaign.
Now, I don't know who's going to get in. Obviously, the committee. I don't even think the committee, each individual member knows who's going to get in there before conversation. But there is a setup in that first round for something special to happen in college ball.
Yeah, Coach, we've been talking a lot about how we think that, some of the conference champions or whoever the higher-ranked teams, let's say in the Big Ten, and the lower-ranked team in the SEC, that SEC school should have to go play a home game in the elements and vice versa. The number 2-ranked Big Ten team should have to go down to the SEC and play down there. Is there any way you can prepare for a scenario like that? Because like Pat mentioned, let's not put the cart ahead of the horse here, but there is a good chance you guys get in, and if you do get in, there's a good chance you're going to be playing on the road in an area where it's very cold and there are conditions and stuff like that. And obviously you coming from South Dakota and being in Washington and Indiana, like, you're no stranger to that. But is that something you can prepare for or talk to your team about as this process kind of rolls on?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I certainly have an appreciation for the question you're asking and understand it. Totally. Just going to different parts of the country at this time of the year and all that. But again, I think about like what our team is built for and the physicality, the ability to run the football. I think about a defense that forces a lot of turnovers. I know we're number 1 in the league and number 2 overall in the country. Our turnover margins are right at the top. So exactly. The keys to football that exist at this time of the year, and again, I know it's a different level and all that, but the championship and the playoffs and things that I know I was a part of in the northern part of the country, these things that we have in our team as far as qualities, they translate over to, again, what a championship team looks and feels like, and what you need to go through multiple rounds to get to where you want to be at the end.
Do you guys have enough heaters and stuff down there, though, to take with you?
Yeah, I don't. We'll figure that out. I hope we get to figure that out.
Yeah, amen. Obviously, got to get to the opportunity, but I think that's one of the beautiful things about this 12-team playoff. We actually hope it extends another week so that the champions get a chance to have home field advantage as well. Because watching a Big Ten school go down to the SEC in one of those environments is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then watching an SEC team potentially have to play in a snow globe.
Come on.
Like, that is going to be awesome. But to your point about the way your team is built, you think about a snow globe, what do you think about? You think about being able to pound rock.
That's right.
You got a guy under center or at shotgun that can do as such, which leads to AP Tone's question.
Yeah, Coach, it's been talked about a couple times in this conversation about Jalen and his just explosiveness and him running the football. And there was rumors of him being banged up potentially during some of the losses in the middle of the year. And you talked about how healthy you guys are now. If you do get in, and it's a 4-game run, how have you balanced running Milroe versus protecting him and keeping him healthy? Because obviously when he's healthy and he's at his top, you guys are at your best.
Yeah, and that, again, a great question. And I think that this time that we're going through right now only continues to help. And you've seen times when there is a little break or he kind of gets over that hump and is fresh again. This last weekend was a great example of just the way he looked, and that's I think the case when you have more than a week to prepare like we would have for most of the weeks throughout the playoffs. And that's the great thing about the way it's set up is it's maybe not just exactly 7 days, and every day after 7, I mean, it helps the guys in their recovery. It obviously it is impactful, and your chance to game plan and get ready as a team, so all of that matters. And like you said, when Jalen is fresh, I mean, there's really no one like him, at the quarterback position in the country.
You talk about that time off. Is it either rest or rust? People wonder. Speaking of rust, let's go to the iron. D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, the Iron Bowl. This was rivalry week. Obviously, we saw a ton of upsets, and this is obviously the biggest one. What was your experience like? Obviously, you had to get a big win to give yourself a chance to make it to this 12-team playoff. What was your first experience like in that Iron Bowl?
Well, I mean, it's all about the ending, right? And, getting the win was what it was all about. And, I guess I couldn't have been more proud, and it goes back to just being able to flip the script and how important it is, whether it's within the game, but especially that week on Tuesday, and the mindset and the way these guys love the game and understand that, people are going to talk and do everything, but what you can control is your mindset, your attitude, and the energy that we bring onto the football field. And they had just a great demeanor about them, and that led to the success we had on Saturday. It was an awesome environment. Just happy for our fan base, happy for our guys that everyone was rewarded with a win, and that's was under kind of the whole idea that you really needed it. So there was some added pressure, and I thought our guys came through in just a great way all around. First
year head coach, Iron Bowl at home. You had to win that one. Coach, you had to win. I know every play is in of itself. I'm happy you won it. You had to win it. You did. Your team responded every single time. They've had a little bit of adversity. They've obviously been able to bounce back. I'm pulling for you. Good luck, and keep crushing it down there in beautiful Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, every week's its own week, and so that's the way we approach it. But thanks for having me on, guys, and it's always a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, head coach at Alabama, Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, coach.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I asked him about life in the SEC, and he turned it into a pitch for his team. I think we're the most balanced team. That's where that answer came from.
Pitch season.
Dude, legit.
Yeah.
They are campaigning. Like Lane Kiffin's doing that.
Yeah.
On X. He is just laying out, hey, this is just a matter of fact. Okay, I'm just letting you know that this is what our team is.
Stats.
Just, hey, this is number 1 or number 2 in the country in takeaways. Does that matter? I don't.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
We're super balanced. And then immediately everybody goes, what happened against Oklahoma then? No, there's no, you just, and then who'd Oklahoma beat? So you lost to a team like that. That's what it is.
Yep.
It is.
Every single
over and over.
And then now we're adding in a different conference. It's like, well, SMU, they beat BYU. So you're saying they lose in a championship? It's the first game that they've lost since losing to BYU, who was top 14, I think, at the time. So now they lose another game in the championship, which we're supposed to reward. They don't get, okay. So they don't get in now because of a team that and it just goes like this.
Never ending.
It's phenomenal what they've created down there. Can never get it right.
Nope.
No way.
But theoretically can never get it wrong either, because there's no right answer.
Yeah.
So in their eyes, they walk out of there, we did it.
Yep.
And then there's a million people would say you didn't. And then all the people that agree with them are the schools that got in. And they're just like, yeah, good job in there. And then let's go to work. It is a wild thing. And once again, we can't say it loud enough. Thank God we are not on the committee.
Mm-hmm.
Thank the heavens we don't have to make this decision.
Boy.
Because once you start comparing 4th SEC school versus 2nd ACC school, now obviously on paper when you think about the amount of 5 stars coming out of high school and like size, speed, projection, NFL careers, you start doing stuff like that, obviously you're going to lean towards one particular roster over another. But with this college football season, like that hasn't been the way games have gone. So how are you supposed to do it? Well, just from watching film, this is what I think. Well, then that's just 13 people's thinks, not everybody else. And like in the head of it is Michigan's athletic director. They just came off a massive one with Ohio State. Ohio State would be probably either the 3rd or 4th team from the Big Ten in now, even though they've beat the 2nd and 3rd team in Penn State and Indy. I mean, it's just like it is a never-ending dog chase tail type situation.
And they talk about how like common opponent is so important, but then with how much parity there has been, it just goes back to that like anytime you see in like the NFL, you start with like the worst team in the NFL, and it's like, well, they beat them, but that team beat them, and then you end up getting down to the best team in the NFL, and it's like, well, if so facto, you look at all that, it's like we're really better than the best team because it's like
the Raiders beat Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can do that.
It
in
never
college
ends.
football this year.
It never ends.
Yeah, imagine if it was 4. Like, of all the years for it to be 12, thank God it's this year. Because if it was only 4 this year, like the amount of teams, Georgia could win the SEC and not get in.
Now, who gets in is a big conversation, but that first round, if all those games ended up being massive blowouts,
which is very
if that happens, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen.
They'll get at least one.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope.
But going into next year, the conversation's vastly. Remember what happened last year? Are we going to do what we did last year? We're going to okay. So when a team proves us that they'll lose games, then we let them in because they got a lot of talent, and then they lose again. Are we going to do that? Or if a team loses, and then like a 3-loss team gets in, and then they just
steamroll.
And then the conversation next year is like, yeah, look at the rosters. That's what you needed. Yeah. But then there'll be somebody that says, well, what about 2 weeks ago? And what happened about that? It's just, I don't know how this is what it is, but the only way to fix it, I guess, is a full 64 team.
Yeah, March Madness.
That's what they would have to do.
Quick fix is you go to 16. If you're a power 4 and you make the conference championship, you're in. They don't do the top 4 like they're doing this year, like where Boise and
do the actual highest 4.
Yeah, do the actual highest 4. And then obviously the first and second round definitely home. If you want to go to semis to make that home.
Reseed after the first round?
Yeah. Nah, I don't think you need to
interesting.
I mean, I would like that.
Does the NFL reseed after?
I mean, no. I mean, we're not. It's not NFL yet. It's getting close.
Yeah,
but
they do. Because doesn't NFL highest seed plays the lowest seed no matter what?
Oh, yeah, but it's not a reseed, though. Oh, yeah, because
technically.
Yeah, but they're staying in the same right?
Because we kept talking about that.
Well, yeah, they're
being
not
in that 5
in the
spot.
conference.
Nobody's jumping.
They should do it that way, though, so that the lowest seed plays the highest seed. So you don't have a number 1 Oregon, and then let's say Georgia wins, and Oregon ends up having to play Georgia.
The number 5 spot.
Yeah, it's the best one.
It's like the spot that you want
by
to get
far.
to. 5 is you got 12 and then 4.
Yeah,
that's the way it goes.
Can't have that go.
That can't be like the thought of people. Like Oregon loses in the Big Ten championship. I'm not saying they're going to, but if Oregon loses in the Big Ten championship, they are definitely the 5 seed.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden they're looking at it and they're like,
"This is actually kind of better."
Thank God.
All right, so we get a home game.
Still get a bye week.
And still get 2 weeks, I think it is. And we got a home game. And then also we got the lowest ranked champion or whatever. It's like 5 seed's a beautiful place, but then you lose the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, if you look at, obviously this isn't what the bracket's going to be because of the losses, but right there, you'd arguably want to be Ohio State playing Arizona State, then Boise versus Oregon.
Listen, Ken Dillingham's team.
I agree, 100%. But Oregon's first game would then have to be Georgia or Tennessee.
Yeah, it's whoa, SEC, ESPN, watch your mouth. Jeez Louise.
That's why Notre Dame's in such a good spot because it's like, hey, we're not in a conference. 5 is what we're going for every single year.
But they can't get any. All those other spots, I think, is where they're going to fall in, obviously, this year because the Northern Illinois lost. But they will change it if it goes to the top 4. Okay, let's pivot away from college football, which is chaos, but can't wait for tonight to add to it. And maybe we'll learn a little bit more.
We should.
But each week it changes.
Yeah, it means nothing, really.
Yeah, because the football judgment changes each week because what happened 2 weeks ago doesn't necessarily decide what happened last week. And if last week was vastly different than 2 weeks ago, what football judgment are we going with? It can never get,
And the season's so long. The board just saying having to win 4 more games after playing 12, crazy.
Let's go back to last night's incredible game. There was a linebacker that is listed at 6'3", 230 that ran 19.88 miles an hour cruising. Just like kind of striding out in a pick six. First of 2 pick sixes for the Denver Broncos defense. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, number 2 in the NFL in sacks, Nick Bonitto.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
What up, y'all?
Hey, sorry we made you wait there as we finished up our college football conversation. Oklahoma is actually a part of the conversation because of them beating Alabama's ass a few weeks ago. So Oklahoma is not in tournament set, but certainly in the conversation, Nick. Certainly in the conversation.
I'm glad we could just be in the conversation. Obviously, it ain't been a really good year, but, we got the little Bama win, so.
It's not a little. You guys, Matt, 24-6 or whatever, which is a big part of the whole convo. Let's talk about last night's win. Congratulations, obviously. Yeah. Monday Night Football, big win. This Denver Broncos team, your Denver Broncos team, really has become something I think a lot of us couldn't have expected before the season because the salary cap hit, because the rookie quarterback. Why do you think you guys are in the position that you're in right now from a behind-the-scenes perspective, Nick?
Yeah, for sure. And I just feel like we just got a gritty team. Obviously we seen the stuff that, people were saying about us before the season. And we looked internally and we knew we had everything we needed in the building. Bo, with the pro that he is, even though he is a rookie, he doesn't really seem like it. Just the way he approaches the game and just all the hungry, players that we got in the roster. So, I definitely think that we just got that chip on our shoulder and we played like it. So.
Yeah, and Bo is like 55 years old, obviously, and I'm happy to hear that he acts like that. But the defense was something that I think going into the season, everybody knew you could hang your hat on. Yep. Vance Joseph, obviously, you guys have a star-studded cast out there. What is it about your defense? Is it the grittiness, or is there something else that kind of makes the magic for you guys?
Yeah, hats off to BJ too. He just helps us approach the game the right way. Obviously, starting in practice, just practicing hard, doing the little things there, and then just leading it onto a field. When you have one of the best corners and probably the best corner of the game, you get to tell him to just go out and guard the best receiver and take him out of the game. It makes it easier for not only the front but just everybody in the defense, and just everybody's playing at a real high level. Everybody's playing hungry, so.
Patrick Surtain is an absolute dog.
Yeah.
There's another 55-year-old as soon as he got dropped into the NFL. D-Butt has a question for you, Nick.
Yeah, you talked about, Pat, yourself, leading the team in sacks, a defense that's leading the NFL in sacks. What kind of clicked for you, coming into year 3 that, you're shining every week in and week out for this Broncos defense?
Yeah, I would probably just watching more film, knowing more concepts, whether it's in the run, in the pass game. Just being more comfortable out there, just, going out there and playing ball, not thinking too much. And obviously coaches are coming up with a great game plan for us every week. And with the D-line that we have, as long as we're rushing well, we're always going to get the results that we want. So
let's talk about last night's game plan, and obviously there's you. Great hands.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Brock County.
Yeah,
come on now.
Come on now.
No, I've seen some South Florida dudes that can run. They can run. They can guard. Mm-hmm. They can cover. They can't catch shit. I've seen a couple.
Judy, Sertan, Moore.
I know you guys took over the game. I understand South Florida certainly has its contributions to sport. Okay, I agree completely. But let's not just label all of South Florida good hands. That is, I would say, phenomenal athletes coming out of South.
Best of the best.
6'3", 230, striding at 19.88 miles an hour last night. Just striding it out, not even really. You top 20, I think that's a headline this morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That 6'3", 230 human being can go 20-plus miles an hour. What a game. Now, on that note, Conman has a question for you.
Yeah, Nick, how was it game planning for Jameis Winston? Was it going into it kind of knowing, like, hey, we're going to have some opportunities here to score touchdowns, and also there's a chance that this guy spins the pill all over the yard with Jerry Jeudy? And was there any thought, like, hey, maybe one of us should get in the pregame tunnel to hear what his pregame speech is because they're so good?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing, like, with Jew, he's obviously a great receiver, and him and Jameis have been, building a connection those last couple of weeks prior to playing us. So we knew that was going to be his go-to. And with Jameis, man, he's obviously a great quarterback. I feel like, he's a really good passer. He has his tendencies to, give the ball away sometimes, but, he's still a really good player. And I personally love the stuff that, he puts out before the games where he's just getting the team hype and stuff. But, I mean, that goes a long way because you see they're playing at a much higher level right now. So I love what he's doing over there.
Stefanski had him throw the ball 58 times last night against you guys. 58 times. Yeah, I mean,
football.
Hey, that's Jameis Winston football.
Spinning it.
That's Jameis. All right, let's talk. Last question because we're coming up on a hard out here, so we apologize that we're taking up any of your time, but also saying we have limited time while asking you a question. Nonetheless, Coach Sean Payton, what has he been like as a head coach over there? And why do you think he was the guy that every team wanted to hire as their head coach?
Yeah, Coach P's a dog, bro. Like, people just don't understand. There's, like, a lot of misconceptions about him in the media where, like, he could be a real dog on the field. Obviously he's, been in this game for so long, but off the field, he's one of the coolest guys too. And at the end of the day, he just wants to win. So he's going to get whatever he needs to out of the players and coaches to, help do what he has to do to win.
Shoe collection still absurd, or is he more bland shoe game now that he's older?
I got to talk to him because I still, he be walking the Jordans around and stuff, like around the facility. I'm still trying to get a pair from him. So hopefully he'll be able to bless me with one. But he got a lot on him for sure. He always got heat on him.
What's this guy got to do?
Come on.
What's this guy got to do to get some shoes? Hey, we appreciate you, man. Congrats on the great year thus far. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Bonitto.
Yeah.
Striding 19 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's fine.
Just casually cruising.
Mm-hmm. Athlete.
Knew that there was nobody. Saw the jumbotron.
Athlete.
That's unbelievable. Their defense is so sound.
Yeah.
He's number 2 in the league in sacks, right?
Yep.
Behind Trey Henderson.
He's a dog.
The dog.
Yeah.
And nobody talked about it until last night, and then everybody's like, sweet name, too.
Yeah.
That's a
Bonitto.
sweet name. All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, Aaron Rodgers, AJ Hawk, college football talk, NFL talk. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life, like Dude Way. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the NFL. Don't listen to them. No. Roger, good. Shut your mouth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. You're our commissioner. Don't worry about these bums. From us to you, we'd like to give you a gift that we know you're a big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, some peanut M&Ms for our commission.
This is just why we're on set?
Yep. You can take these with you. You can take them home.
I might just I got a gift for you.
What?
Oh. You ready?
Yeah, I like that.
With the 222nd pick in the 2009 NFL Draft.
Oh, yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts select Pat McAfee. Hunter, West Virginia.
Hell yeah!
Come on there, baby.
Good pick.
Thank you, Raj. I'll pick him up. Thank you, Raj. I'm not going to pick you up because you got that
That's
back.
all right.
Yeah.
I got it. There's your card, baby. That's real.
That's awesome.
I've been keeping that for, 15 years?
You had it in your back pocket this whole time. This is cool. Thank you for this. So whenever we say that you have to answer to 31 billionaires, how accurate is that?
32. Well, you're not counting Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
doesn't count.
big pop. There's a Green Bay Packers.
I didn't do he did.
Yeah, no, that was.
I don't actually think that way. I actually think I answer to them. I think I answer to the media partners. I think I answer the players. I think I answer the owners too. The idea for me is to try to keep everyone happy. I always say that my biggest job is not to piss off more than 24 owners in a given day.
How did you know the draft would be awesome if you traveled it, and did you see this happening?
I'd be kidding you if I thought it was going to be as big as it is. We felt like we could be bigger than we were in Radio City. But what happened is Radio City actually put a holiday show in and said, you can't have the draft until June. And that's when we said, we're out of here.
So they kicked you out.
That's when we went on the road.
Well, Taylor Swift, we know.
Well, that's a different kind of influence.
How about, hey, listen, a lot of jokes from
They're booing Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you can't boo.
They're idiots.
Yeah, you're going to be a part of an album.
Wow.
Do it. Get a little louder. She is going to cook you. A lot of the internet was saying Roger Goodell was sitting at home through the mirror about this.
Well, they thought it was part of the script.
Yes, then he went on to it. There it is.
is.
Is there a thought of adding another one, maybe adding another bye week, or are we good at 17 right now?
Well, I think we're good at 17 now, but listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need preseason.
Waste of time, right? And energy.
I don't buy it, and I don't think these guys like it either.
Well, they have to spend full price for the tickets for those games.
No, they're actually discounted now. So
Thank you for doing that.
I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any day. That's just picking quality, right? If we got to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, which I thought you were going to, is that ends up on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes the Sunday night, and then you have Monday off. So that's
wow.
Now we're cooking.
See,
now we're cooking.
Did you talk to the president about having the Monday?
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Stop! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. We think December 3rd, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football. Yeah, football is awesome.
Hell yeah,
football is awesome,
Hell
and conversation around it is never ending. Tonight, Hard Knocks. AFC North in-season debuts on Mox at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We can't wait to watch. We got a chance to exclusively debut, I think, the beginning of this episode, the first 2 minutes and 53 seconds. It is electrifying. Here's going to be good shit. Shout out to NFL Films. We appreciate it. The talk today was here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. 9-year NFL vet.
Yes, sir.
South Florida boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Host of Everything DB, Good D, Bad D, ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler.
D-Butch,
good to see you. Joining us live from an attic in Ohio is a man who's going to have tremendous thought about a situation that is happening around the NFL, which is why we chose not to talk about it until now. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion. He's also the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Every one of those tackles, he led with his head. Ladies and gentlemen, A.J. Hawk. Hawker!
What's the topic that you waited for me for? I don't understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL has made it official that Aziz Al-Shaair, a linebacker for the Houston Texans, will be suspended for 3 games. John Runyon, vice president of NFL fining and punishment, basically released a long-ass statement about him being a multiple-time offender, and obviously this has happened before with different things. He's been fined, and a 3-game suspension felt needed, but it's that last sentence that we have highlighted there that is really going to be the thing that is going to draw some electrifying content. Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and all those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL. Your continued disregard for NFL playing rules puts the health and safety of both you and your opponents in jeopardy and will not be tolerated. Okay, that's from an NFL exec, John Runyon, former player, to him in his announcement that he's getting suspended for 3 games. First of all, AJ, 3 games. I don't think anybody expected that. I thought maybe 2 would be max. 3 games, a lot. How do you feel about the messaging and the way it was delivered there to Aziz?
That was a bit interesting, was the wording of that. And, of course, anybody that's paying attention, this is followed by the clip of John Runyon goring a 49ers player over the pile back when he was playing, which I don't blame him for that at all. He was just playing. But it is interesting how they worded this. Like, I assumed, okay, they gave him 3 games. He's going to appeal and get it down to 2, most, maybe 1. I don't know if that's the case. Now, like they're wording this so strongly, like to let you know, like this cannot happen. But also, side note, I love what Nick Caserio is doing to defend Shaair. I love what they're doing, the whole team. I know you're going to get to it, but I love that video of him, and I love them standing up for their guy.
Okay, to your point, D'Amico Ryans yesterday spoke about this and gave a full promo about, like, I am firmly on Aziz's side in this entire thing, which is he has had to say before. D'Amico flew around, played linebacker, so he's literally been that. And he has the C. Aziz has the C on D'Amico's defense. So, like, he has a lot of belief and faith in him. And he said, the whole conversation, he didn't necessarily say this particular one, but the whole conversation about sliding, when they slide, how they slide, how somebody's supposed to, what somebody's supposed to. I think we all agree that utilizing the brace with Trevor, with how he slid, a lot of people that seemed to be a bit egregious. And then the multiple times of being fined by this 4 different hits and actions. But the way, here it is, here's the list that Get Up put together this morning and the fines that kind of accrued alongside of it. But that's the 5th time that John Runyon has kind of, seen something that has happened with him. Now, the wording at the end of that, to your point, general manager of the Houston Texans, friend of the program, Nick Caserio, took to the microphone to talk about it.
Quite frankly, it's unfair. And I'd say one of the biggest issues that, and I probably speak for a lot of teams, not only the Houston Texans, but I think that's all teams ask for is consistency from the league. And I'd say in this situation, quite frankly, there's no consistency at all relative to the level of discipline that's been handed down. So when you go back, let's look at this season. Okay, we had multiple situations, multiple examples. All right, 2 really good players, I would say. Branch ejected against Green Bay, right? Plays the next week against us. Okay, Derwin ejected, all right, got suspended for 1 game. And Derwin's a great player, and Derwin's had some other situations that have come up. And I'd say even going back here, a player that we know well organizationally here, Kareem Jackson. Kareem's a good player. Was ejected, fined, ejected, and then suspended after 3 games. So we're going to say Aziz Al-Shaair, who nobody embodies our program more than Aziz. What he's about, what he's been through, you all know his story. There's not a more selfless individual, more about the team, who's earned the respects, that represents everything that we want this program to be about. This morning he was at a United Way event. So we're talking about some of the commentary that has been made about his character, about the person that he is, about what his intentions are, from people that, quite frankly, don't know anything about Aziz Al-Shaair, okay? And for the league to make some of the commentary that they made about lack of sportsmanship, lack of coachability, lack of paying attention to the rules, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So I think the big thing from and they're talking about a player who's never been suspended, never been ejected. So now we're saying that he's going to be suspended for 3 games. So, look, it is what it is. I think the big thing from our standpoint, and all teams want this, is just some level of consistency. And we've talked to the league, quite frankly, but we don't have a good explanation. D'Amico talked to them yesterday. So, it is what it is.
So, very grainy footage from an Ari Mirov tweet, and we certainly appreciate Ari having his ear to the ground on everything that's happening everywhere in the NFL and ripping and clipping and posting, because this is just his media meeting, and who knows when we would have. But he went to bat fully behind Aziz. So did D'Amico yesterday. So if I'm Aziz, I feel good about it. And you're right about the appeal. It probably comes down to 2 games. But if I'm Aziz, I got to be very pumped that this is how the Houston Texans are responding. And if you're the NFL, you're going to have to answer Nick Caserio saying, What are we doing?
Consistency.
Yeah, not only about consistency, but also the way we're phrasing one of our players who was at a United Way event this morning. You're talking about disregard for health and safety and unsportsmanlike. It's like, this is a guy.
They're almost attacking him personally. That's the thing. They're almost attacking him like as a person in your fine letter. That's the tough thing. It's like media people. They say, I will talk about their play on the field. I'm never going to attack them as a person and what they do. That's what people will say if they want to be a journalist or want to be somebody that presents the game to people.
Yeah, but that is never what happens. In this particular time, it's coming from the NFL, you know? And it's I like what's happening with Caserio down there. Once again, don't like the hit, okay? I'm not condoning hit, not condoning outcome, but I like when a team, just like we talked about yesterday with the flag.
Yeah.
Like, I like when a team comes out for their team.
Yes.
Like, I like that a lot, including suits.
Yeah,
like
I
Nick
love GM, head coach coming out, backing their guys. I'm sure teammates would do the same. We got to remember, man, this is a very violent game, a very, very fast game. And AJ and Bill had a conversation yesterday, like, okay, what do you tell them to do in that situation? Like that, I always talk about that. Quarterbacks are the toughest people to tackle in the open field. We see Mahomes, fake slide, pick it back in college. Like it happens, you tiptoe near the sideline. So I think that also needs to be addressed from the quarterback standpoint as far as sliding and protecting themselves, because it is very, very tough on the defenders. And they put up, kind of Aziz, his former infractions or fines wasn't really big fines. A lot of those things are kind of in the heat of the moment. Once again, it's a fast game, a roughing the passer, a face mask, fighting late hit. Like those, that's football. Obviously, the Trevor Lawrence hit was nasty, and it was amplified even more because of the fight after it, which absolutely should happen.
Which we like.
Yeah, you see that happen. I heard D'Amico Ryan saying, the sideline overreacted. I think that's exactly how he wanted his sideline to react. C.J. Stroud was hit that same way. But at the end of the day, it's a violent game. Things like this are going to happen. Hated the wording of those statements from the NFL. And I'm with AJ. I think he appeals this, and it comes down to 2 games, maybe even 1, hopefully. But as a linebacker, that's the kind of I want a guy like that who's going to toe that line, who's going to play the game. How it's still, in some ways meant to be played. And obviously, you want player safety. And you hope Trevor Lawrence is okay too.
Now, don't look now. Houston Texans just lost their tone setter on defense.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, now's the time.
Yeah.
Now's the time to
Big
go.
one coming up.
There's a chance.
Big win, bye week.
There's a chance. But obviously we don't love this, the way this whole thing went down. Anytime it starts getting like this, not good. Hey, not good for a Shield.
Yeah, it stinks.
It's not good for the Shield. Hopefully it'll get settled. But I do like that a general manager said, I'd like a press conference. Because they don't have to talk till after the season.
Yeah.
GMs don't have to talk at beginning of season. I think they have to have a press conference, or off. I think draft they have to have a meeting with the press. I think there's a preseason one they have to have, and I think there's a postseason one that they have to have.
I didn't know.
Everybody else, you very rarely, GMs don't have to really talk. It's not like a mandatory. So he definitely had to call that and say, hey, I don't like the way they're talking about the guy that's captain of the team that I am general managing. And I think that shows a lot about who Aziz is behind closed doors down there.
Yeah.
He was at a United Way event this morning.
Yeah.
Just trying to, Hey, John Runyon, I don't know how you spent. Did you sleep in this morning? I hope you got a good, you know what he was doing? Curing cancer.
Yeah.
Helping.
Okay, that's what he was doing this morning. Were you? Is that what you were doing, John? Is that what?
Oh, you weren't.
You know what he did last night? Overnight, no sleep, going in to cure cancer. Built a home for the homeless people by hand, all the way downtown.
By himself.
By himself. We asked to help. He said, no, I want to do it myself. This guy's hammering nails. That's basically what you said, and I love that. I think everybody's hoping that at some point they have somebody that is in their world going to bat for him like that. So congrats to the Texans seemingly having a very tight culture down there. But look out, the Indianapolis Colts.
I don't know.
Joining us now is a man who I assume will have a take on this, because it is quickly becoming a discussion about quarterbacks sliding, how they slide, when are they allowed to slide, can they do the fake slide, Kenny Pickett in college, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're off and running. Fake out of bounds, don't want to hit a guy going out of bounds, but turn that thing right up there. Joining us now is a guy who's played through like 4 different generations of the NFL. He's currently the oldest player in the NFL. Just turned 41 the other day. Happy birthday, ladies and gentlemen. 4-time NFL MVP, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, doing good, guys. Interesting conversation you're having.
How do you feel about it? Okay, so let's dive into it. Trevor Lawrence obviously ends up getting concussed, and it's one of the scary. It's the lockup one. I forget the name. It's they have a name.
Yeah.
I forget the name.
Fencing.
Fencing. There it is. Fencing. It is. I'm learning too much about this, by the way. But the fencing lockup, and then a fight happens. Aziz ends up getting suspended for 3 games now. In the wording of the suspension, they talked about like unsportsmanlike and disregard for safety, and almost attacked him as a person. General manager Nick Caserio comes out and says, "This guy this morning giving back to the community." Aaron, which part do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the quarterback sliding, becoming a protected play? Do you want to talk about the fining structure? You kind of can take this whichever way you like.
Well, I mean, they've already done a lot to support the quarterback and keep the quarterback safe. I mean, the whole game has changed in the last 20 years. It's not the same physicality. There's protected players all over the field. On both sides of the ball, there's no more cutting, right, downfield. That's changed the way that there's been interactions with the toss plays. You've protected the quarterback from basically the knee to the shoulder, make it real difficult on defensive players to know how to even tackle the guy. You've protected players going over the middle. Back then, you didn't go over the middle and throw it. The Ray Lewises and the Urlachers and the Briggs and the E.J. Hendersons and all the guys we played over the years in the AFC North. You had to be careful throwing the football over the middle because those guys are going to get smacked. So now we've encouraged, a lower level standard of play from the quarterback position because you never worried about throwing the ball down the middle because you're not going to get your guy killed. Then there's a protection outside the pocket now. It's changed a lot. I think we've lost a lot of physicality. I think we've done some good things for player safety for sure. But I think it's really hard to play defense in those situations. I really feel bad for the college kids who get kicked out of a half or the first half of the next game or 2.5 quarters, if it happens in the first quarter or the second quarter, the entire game, because it's bang, bang plays. You're throwing a ball to a guy, he catches the ball, he ducks, I'm taking an angle. We've talked about this before. I'm taking a shoulder below angle, he ducks it now and getting hit in the head. And that's getting kicked out of the game for that. That's ridiculous. Now, some of these, hits on defense that are called penalties or not called penalties are ridiculous as well. The interpretation of the rules is very hard for the stripes, but it is interesting what they try and.
Can I ask you about quarterbacks?
What gets actually called?
Can I ask you about the quarterback sliding? Because that feels like a big part of it. D'Amico brings it up. I think every defender brings it up whenever they're talking about it. Is there a moment in a quarterback's mind where it's too late to slide? Or, I want to slide, but maybe I missed the timing window?
Or I want to dive, maybe. I want to possibly dive for the first down, but you're indecision between those two?
Is that a natural thought? Is that in a moment? When are you having that thought,
Well, I mean, back in the day, you always slid really early, and in college, Thetford never let us slide feet first. It was always diving because you were worried about getting drilled like the play that unfortunately happened to Trevor. If you go feet first, but it's tough to play defense. There should be some onus, I think, on the quarterback to slide early. We're pushing it because they like the market where you begin your slide. So if it's close to a first down yardage, you're always trying to kind of push the envelope, but you got to understand what's happening on the other side. Now you don't expect maybe to get smacked, but maybe they should ease the rules a little bit on some of that stuff to maybe deter some of the late slides. Because again, I don't think that Aziz is a dirty player. And you look at his his rap sheet of fines in the league. It's not like we're talking about some. It's not like, when late hit, fighting, face mask, roughing the passer, I don't think that's egregious of any nature. Now, he's a thumper, though. I mean, he can really hit. If you ever watch him on film, you're like, that dude, awesome. If I'm watching film, and luckily he didn't play when we played the Texans, but if I was out, I would know where he's number 0, isn't he? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would know where 0's at, and I don't think I'd be worried about a late slide there. I would slide with plenty of time because he's a talented player. But I think some of the rules have really helped for sure, player safety and things that shouldn't be in the league. And some of the rules I think have made it closer to sarcastic ball and have not improved the watching. watching the viewing experience anymore.
Yeah, the product. I understand. Yeah, because there's a lot of things that just look soft or whatever. And obviously, we don't want to see people fencing on the field. Like, we're at a point where we understand that. But there's a lot happening, and the sport is always going to be violent. And D'Amico came out, and he put the C on them. So he's like, this is my guy. Caserio comes out, same way. Love what their building is doing behind him. But also, I love that the Jacksonville team wanted to fight him. So the whole situation, obviously, hopefully, we learn from it and we move forward. You know, I think D'Amico and Nick Caserio would be pumped about you, too. How about you laying a block with your old ass? Wow. How about you? Now, granted, you ended up on the ground. The other guy's still good, but you got in the way, made a big-time play, made a decision, and
he was on the ground as well. I mean, I thought, you know, he got knocked down by Witherspoon.
Friendly fire.
I said he got knocked down by Witherspoon. He got knocked down by me.
Oh,
I was kind of laughing because I went to help him up and he kind of slapped me aside. He didn't want any.
Oh, because you're like offensive lineman who gets a pancake. Like, let me help you up, and he's like, excuse me, I got hit by somebody else.
No, exactly. But he could have said that as he was getting picked up. He could have said, "Hey, that wasn't you that knocked me down."
Did you get a tackle for that?
What are you doing? You're getting your head in there. I love that.
Yeah.
You're getting your head in there, doing the entire. You felt alive in there. You felt alive. I assume you felt alive in there.
Listen, in practice, there was always maybe one guy. You know, I could hang back and make sure the end didn't go. Well, I was kind of out in the open there. I mean, there wasn't just one guy. There was two guys.
I love that you did it. I love it. You're 40 years old.
Incredible.
Still bringing it.
Yeah.
I was 40 on that day, yeah.
Yes, you were. One last time. Let's see if the 40-year-old can hang. You know, maybe a 41-year-old doesn't take those types of hits. Go ahead, AJ.
Hey, I want to go back to the sliding thing. Is that something you guys ever practice? Is it something that coaches talk about in the offseason? I would imagine they're going to have to address this for these guys going in the offseason.
Well, you don't really talk about it. It's not like we're sliding a whole lot in practice. I can't remember a time, maybe one time in like a move the ball period in like a training camp where we were working on like 4 minute where I might have scrambled and slid in bounds. And I think that could be one time in all the years of practice. It's not something you work on. I've seen some teams do slip and slides for guys who can't slide. I mean, I used to make fun of Matt Flynn because he was kind of a double knee slider.
Soccer
He had a couple real kind of interesting slides over the years. I wish we could get some video of that, but I don't know if there's any out there other than maybe preseason against the Rams the one year. But
what year was that exactly? I don't know if we get a film in that. I don't know if there's any out there except for the Rams preseason 2000. That's what I just heard your brain doing right there.
Yeah, I think it was like 2012 maybe.
You've pulled this up before. This certainly exists. Let's go ahead and get that up there so we can watch it. But the sliding, there are we hear stories like some quarterbacks having to learn how to slide. Like this quarterback had.
Well, I think most of us probably played baseball, though. I mean, I guess there's way more focus on being a single sport athlete. But if you played baseball ever, like you know how to slide. I'm a right foot forward, left knee bent slider, kind of the way I've always been. I think you're kind of one way or the other. AJ's, he's a lefty, so he's probably the other way. But I don't know.
I think I can. Yeah, I think I'm left foot forward. I think I tuck in my right leg.
No, you're both knees, aren't you? Like Matt Flynn. You're doing.
I'm not doing like that. Would I'd pair both PCLs in my body if I tried that.
Yeah, Spencer Havner, he was a left foot forward guy too. Big Spanks.
I don't know, Big Spanks. I like that. I soccer slide, left leg back, right leg.
But John Kuhn, he was always face first. He was head first slide. Yeah.
Well, I love that John Kuhn did that, and also John Kuhn, you were phenomenal on radio. Bro.
Yeah, I miss you.
We hope you get back on radio. Obviously, we'd love to chat with you about next
season. I think he should just start his own podcast.
He's got one.
One of that for it. He's got one.
Yeah, Brick and the Stick. Him and Schneidman got a podcast together.
Yeah.
Come on, Aaron.
Aaron, you knew that.
Obviously, great minds think alike.
Okay, let's talk about this season with you and the New York Jets as we try to find the Matt Flynn double knee slide. Coach Brick came out and said you're a starter. Okay. And that's an interesting situation. Obviously, that's even taking place, but that's happening because of all the reports and yada, yada, yada that is taken. Where are you mentally at with this season with the New York Jets, and how are you framing the rest of the way here?
I just want to finish off as well as we can. It's been a rough season. A lot of opportunities to win games that we didn't get the job done in the fourth quarter. some of those games were won and lost in maybe the first, second, and third quarter. If you go back to some of the important impact plays, which again was the case on Sunday. But when you have a chance to win the fourth quarter and you come up short, it's always a little extra disappointing. But listen, we get paid for 17 weeks, not 10, not 11, not 5. So if you're the starter, you want to play all the games. So that's how I feel. I want to be out there with my guys and battle as long as I feel healthy. Body feels as good as it felt, whether fortunately or unfortunately for the situation. Body feels great. I want to be out there. I want to be out there with the guys. I want to battle. I have a lot of pride in playing. One of my goals this year coming back from the Achilles was to play all 17 games. I assume that would be 17 plus whatever playoff games we played in. Obviously, that hasn't been the case this year. But we still got 5 games left, and would love to be out there battling with the guys.
Okay, so everything you were feeling last year when you were away from the team and rehabbing and trying to come back quicker than ever before, obviously we have an announcement to make at the end of the show, and there's going to be a lot more insight on that than I think any of us could have imagined. But I think you missed the game, right? You missed the boys. And this weekend, when that kickoff return goes to the house and they have a shot of you on the sideline with smelling salts and then going crazy, and although the season hasn't gone the way, you still feel, about football the way that has kind of driven you throughout your entire football career at this old-ass age? You're the oldest guy, obviously.
Yeah, well, Big Dog's pretty close to me, too. I think Big Dog is about to be 40 as well. So he's, in the 5th decade of our lives here. But his job physically is much more difficult than mine. But I still love football. Always have. Always will. Been obsessed with it since I was 6 years old. Watching Joe Montana and then Steve Young and then Barry Sanders and Brett Favre and my favorite players, and dreaming about playing on Sundays. And when I got in the league, I didn't think I was going to be playing 20 plus years. I was just kind of hoping to get 5. I thought that'd be cool, 5 years in the league. And then when I got to 5, I was like, 8 would be really cool, like 8 years. Like that's like a nice career. And then got to 8, and I said anything after 10 is great. And then you kind of get into this, and you're like, I can keep doing this, and you get a little smarter, and you figure out how to, get your body where it needs to be, and you little, hacks with the diet and sleeping and meditation and off-season workouts and mental clarity and visualization, all different things that kind of allow you to stick around for a while. And I loved every minute of it. And this has been something really, really special in my life. And, as much as the game is given me just about everything in my life currently with the status and money and fame and notoriety and connections, at the end of the day, the most important thing are the relationships. I've talked about it many times. This game has given me my family. The people that are with me. It's given me best friends and god kids and people who've stepped in different roles in my life that I needed at various times. Showed up for me as parents, as uncles, as brothers, as friends, as confidants, and I'm really thankful for the game, and that's the stuff you take with you. And that's what I, figured out at Cal. Was reminded at Cal how important those relationships are. They stick with you for a long time, and that's my message to the guys. Is even in a season where there's been a lot of frustration, like if you just turn it off and you just take your mind elsewhere when you're at work, you're gonna miss out on the great opportunities to connect with your teammates and conversations that could make a difference in your life down the road or make a difference in somebody else's life. So that's what I'll be looking for. Still love the game, and just want to finish this season out the right way.
Yeah, watching you celebrate like a little kid was cool. That was a really cool moment to watch you on the sideline, especially in this season. And here's to the lads. It's always about the lads.
Amen.
Isn't it? Always about the lads. Legitimately, forever. All those moments. I've been a part of a losing season, and man, that year, it is hard to find the silver lining. But the lads, coming together and having a win, a big-time win, is obviously something that carries you to the next week, and the fan base is feeling and hoping for the same thing. There are some football outcomes that you can affect what's going on other places. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Aaron, is it kind of like a silver line that you guys can still play spoiler to, the Dolphins' playoff chances and also the Bills getting the 1 seed? Is that something that is still kind of a motivator in the building and for you to play that kind of role going forward?
Well, I don't know, Connor. I mean, I think we're all we got to be self-motivated. I think there's a lot of inspiration that can be drawn from whatever it is that we can do on the field. But I think first and foremost, there should be, just a real base level of motivation that comes from being a professional. Because being a professional in this job is not a sometime thing. It's an all the time thing, and it's really a 365-day-a-year job, 66 in the leap years. Which
good call. Everybody forgets about that day.
We're currently in. Yes, we're currently in that.
Everybody forgets about
it. But it's an all the time thing, and on top of that, being a pro is that your habits stay the same. So you're doing the little things, because I think what people forget sometimes is that there's always people watching, and especially with the situation we're in, with our GM relieved and our head coach relieved and interim head coach, everything is being watched at all times. And so the habits that you're going to let go or you might not think are as important because we're out of it and we don't have a chance, it says a lot about you. This business is about people. It's a people business. People talk, different teams. And you're always auditioning for somebody, whether it's to your own team to get another contract or to get more responsibility or to get, become the face of the franchise at some point, or whether it's for some people that are at this organization, they're going to go somewhere else and tell stories about who you are, because ultimately that's all you can take with you. So I hope we remember that these last 5 weeks. I hope we have pride when we take the field, because we've got a lot to play for. We've got a lot of friendships, a lot of special people in the organization to play for and to do things the right way. And, it's seasons like this sometimes that can build for the future, because you always remember how guys reacted in adverse times, or when some people would just want to throw in the towel and say, hey, shit's over. Let's just get to the fucking off season. That goes a long way. When you get into those grooves and you're winning and on the march to the playoffs, and then you face adversity, you kind of remember how guys reacted in those moments and who you can count on in those battles. It's pretty evident.
Who you are some of the time is who you are all the time, and how you do anything is how you do everything. That old adage, but it's very real, especially in that particular.
It's the truth.
Yep, agreed. I completely agree. And I think there are people that forget, hey, still profession, still jobs, still year after this year, there's dreams, aspirations for not only this team, but life. I'm excited for that. The way to watch, kind of how you guys close this thing out. It's going to be very telling. Because what is the future over there? Do you know?
I think there's a few different avenues that happen. And one of them is, kind of the whole thing getting kind of blown up. We got a lot of guys on one year deals. So the whole team could look different. Front office could look different. Coaching staff could look different. So young guys maybe don't understand that, who you are, how you got the team. That's part of an old regime now. New regime comes in, you're auditioning. You're auditioning for the new regime. I think we all who played on the panel here can agree with that. When a new regime comes in, it's different, because they want to bring in their own energy, their own style, their own philosophy, and you got to fit in. They're not fitting into you. You got to fit into that new thing. So there's going to be auditions for everybody that wants to be a part of the Jets next year.
I was told I didn't draft you. I have zero loyalty to you. In negotiation, I was told that. I'm like, damn, okay. I thought I'd done a lot for maybe the team and the town and the community and the city, but yeah, I guess. All right, if that's how you view it. But that's reality, a situation.
That's reality.
That is, and they have a vision of how they want that team to look, how they want that team to do, and whether you're a part of it or not is obviously up to them, but you could showcase a lot whenever you're wrapping up a year like this. Go ahead, AJ.
Have you thought about, whenever you are done playing, have you thought about any more getting into the media, watching Tom and Tony on there call games? Is that something you ever could see yourself doing at any level?
One of the things I really love about you and I love about this show, Abe, is that you can sit there with your fake books behind you.
Whoa.
What? And your Gatorade cup between your legs.
To urinate, we know that.
And you can ask me a question that's a rhetorical question, Woodcock, because you already know the answer to that. But you can ask it straight face to try and get people to think that I'm going to give a new answer. Here. That's what I fucking love about you.
That, baby, and that's why we love it. That's why we love them.
Don't ever change, bro.
Yeah,
the answer is no. I will not.
Why?
For now, maybe.
Great
now.
question. Great question. I can't wait to sidebar with you later about this.
Oh, you guys are going to sidebar?
You come on here and speak. It'd be the same thing, just on whatever network calling a game.
Be in a suit?
Yeah, your sweet suit, some tassels, some necklaces.
Listen,
what?
After this thing is done, you're not gonna see me. You'll see me maybe in Tahoe. You'll see me if I ever go back to Green Bay, in 4 or 5 years, and then that's about it.
Are you gonna have a sweet beard like Letterman? Remember Letterman?
Oh yeah,
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey. What he used on
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin. He's always looked like that. But all these guys, like when they disappear, they have this full transformation, and then they show up. Are you gonna have you thought about your look yet? What it's gonna be?
It's not gonna be that. I can promise you that.
Are you gonna be 400 pounds, or are you gonna be like 150? Are we going?
I mean, I think D-Bach is going to be close to 400, and I'll be close to 200.
Jeez. Bakhtiari taking shots on the chins on a Tuesday. It's a beautiful thing. D-Butt has a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, you kind of just mentioned new regime coming in, and this is not about the Jets, but a place like Chicago. A new regime coming in, you're keeping the GM, but a new head coach. Building around that young quarterback, you play for offensive coaches, you play for defensive coaches. What will be your mindset building around a quarterback like that, who I would expect will be the last guy out of the building that you could throw under the bus or move forward from? So how would you go? Is it an offensive-minded coach? Is it a leader of men type guy who isn't calling plays? How would you go about that, building an organization or building a team around a young quarterback going forward?
Well, that relationship is going to be really, really important. If you think he's the face of the franchise and the future of the franchise for the next decade plus, they need somebody who can come in and work with him and connect with him on a personal level. I think every young quarterback, whether we want to admit it or not, we want to be coached really badly. We don't have all the answers. We'd love somebody to hold us accountable. My favorite coaches, the coaches you want to play for the best, were always the ones that that held you to a crazy level. I tell a story a lot about Tom Clements and how he used to give me minus performances on 100 quarterback rating games. And I got so mad. I just wanted to kind of like show him, that I could, play that perfect game that he was holding me to the level that he was holding me. And I just loved him for that, because he made me want to play great for him, because I just wanted that smile, that rare Tom Clements smile that was like, hey, good game, plus performance. Because it was just his binary, his plus or minus performance. And it was, semi-arbitrary according to me, but he always held me to such a high standard. I think that's what a young quarterback needs, and I don't think I think you need some stability. The other thing I'm going to say is really, really important. D-Bud, I'm glad you set me up for this question. I think there has to be a movement, and I thought there would be, before I go on that tangent, I thought there would be when the ownership came out and said, it's unacceptable that there's, however $100 million being paid out to coaches that aren't coaching anymore, right? Or personnel people.
800, I think. I think it was 800 million.
Yep.
700 or 800 million. Yeah.
So what I'm saying, I think, is there needs to be a return to hiring the right person at general manager, at head coach, and then allowing them to do their job with full backing from the organization. I think there's a lot to that. And I will cite an example of the Detroit Lions and say that they've done it the right way, right? So when Detroit, when Dan came in, MCDC, the first year they were, what was the record, Foxy?
They were 0-10 to start.
0-10
to start, yeah.
Okay, 0-10 to start, right? Then the second year they start off the season
1-6
after 7 games, 1-6, right? And then do you remember what the sentiment was from the organization? What they said?
I just know that they said keep it going.
They said, who's the GM in Detroit?
Holmes, Brad Holmes.
Forgive me. Yeah, they said he's our GM and MCDC is our head coach. And since that statement was made, and again, you can fact check me on this, whether it was week 8 or around that time, they have won a crazy amount of games. They finished the 22 season on a high, went 9-8. They came back last year and did what? They were 13-4 or something like that?
Yep.
And then they're 11-1 this year, am I right?
Yep.
I can tell you, there's that's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence, but that's not a coincidence that happened, and then you've seen this shift, because that's the energy that goes around a building when the fucking head coach is on the hot seat, and maybe the quarterback is on the hot seat, or the GM's on the hot seat, or any of the kind of the main, out there important pieces in kind of the media mind, and the ownership can say, hey, this is what we're doing. I don't give a shit about what your opinion is or what's going on. This is the process. We believe in MCDC. We believe in the GM. We believe in Jared Goff. Whatever the statements was, that goes a long way. And I think any organization would be smart to think about that, especially Chicago. And listen, I played in their rival for 18 years, and so I saw a lot of change down there over the years.
You're their landlord.
You got to hire the right people, and then you got to empower them, and then you got to let them be and support them until such time comes that you don't see the growth that you need. But to change a culture, to change a program takes time, and it takes patience. And a lot of ownership around the league doesn't have the patience to let that thing go through. Now, there are certain situations, and I'll let you go, there are certain situations where after a year, you see issues that are just not fixable. Or maybe you see things that didn't come out in an interview that you just don't like. Or maybe there's off-the-field stuff that you don't like I'm talking about from the upper levels. And you got to make a change. I understand that. But for the most part, whether it's a quarterback development or a team development under a new coach, they need time to do that, but way more important than that, and trust me when I say this, way more important than that, they need the backing of the ownership, because when that backing is out there, and I'm not talking about privately, I'm talking about privately and publicly, it changes the energy of the entire team.
Changes the energy of the entire team. It changes the way the team is talked about too. Yep. And who you're mentioning up there is Sheila Ford Ham.
Exactly.
Because the Lions weren't like that. Remember, Jim Caldwell had success. Let's get him the hell out of here.
Gone.
And then Matt Patricia comes in. It's not good. Get him the hell. Like Sheila Ford Ham came in, and I think she's the one that's been the most publicly backing of MCDC and Brad Holmes from draft night one. Through the entire process, right?
Exactly. It was Sheila Fordham, Chris Spielman, and they gave MCDC, I think, a 5 or a 6 year contract right away, and everyone said that is way too long, but it just shows that they were going to do something different, and they were going to have MCDC's back, have Brad Holmes back, and Aaron, to your point, when they started out 1-6 in his second season, you said there was a breaking point. The Lions and the Chiefs have the most amount of wins since that moment. So, yeah, that's what it is. It's a full-on support of the team.
Get out. Now it's Super Bowl or we're the worst team in football, right?
Exactly.
Now we win a Super Bowl or we're having
But that's what you want. And then you change the entire energy, you change the narrative. And I promise you that it wasn't fucking just some random thing that happened. They didn't just click it in. That energy is contagious, and there's no coincidences. When that happened, it changed the whole thing.
You've said that a couple times. You think everything happens for a reason, obviously?
I didn't say that. I just said there's no coincidences.
So everything's planned?
I didn't say that either.
Are we being controlled?
I don't know. You tell me. So coincidence is something just happening, right? Just a happenstance taking place without any preconceived setup or structure. It's just a coincidence takes place that really potentially goes, oh, that's quite a winky dink. What do you don't think that happens?
This little wink from the universe.
Oh, okay. You think it's like, I don't want to get into the whole thing here, but universe.
Yeah, you're starting to, though.
A lot going on in universe right now.
Universe is pretty active right now.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, pretty active right now, the universe. I don't know. Other universes, too, getting pretty nosy, huh?
Yeah.
Getting pretty nosy, seemingly, with our universe, the whole.
A lot going on.
There is.
You tell them.
There is a lot going on. All right, let's get back to football.
Yeah.
You were a part of something that was a weapon, I think, for the Green Bay Packers for a long time. That frozen tundra is a thing in of itself. With college ball happening and also NFL football happening these later months, it is a conversation that's getting very loud. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, we saw the Frozen Tundra host the Miami Dolphins on Thanksgiving Eve, and then we saw the Bills host the Niners in a snow globe on Sunday night. And obviously you playing there forever and then playing outside for the Jets. Is there anything these warm weather teams or dome teams can do besides, or prepare yourself for the cold besides just being out there and just being in it all the time? Is there anything that these teams can do? And it's definitely an advantage for these cold weather outdoor teams, right?
I mean, I always thought so. I always thought that the pass rush slowed down, that it was easier for teams to quit when it was really cold. And so starting fast was a premium. You got up on a team, and a lot of times you could kind of start to make them fold a little bit. Now, there was always a surge, I felt like, in the third quarter. Regardless of what happened in the first half, there'd be like that, they go to halftime, they warm up, they'd be like, fuck it, all right, let's go. Let's have a third quarter. But you got to kind of withstand that third quarter. And I think you saw that a little bit in the Packer-Miami game, right? They put together at least one drive or two drives, a couple drives in the second half. But J-Lo and the boys, kind of held on the football and ran the ball. And he had a good night throwing it, and they put him away. But I always felt like it was a big advantage when a warm weather team or dome team was coming to Lambeau. And I always wanted, man, give me that sweet spot, like 30 to 10, like from 10 to 30. Really 10 to 20 was just absolutely perfect because it was cold enough, wasn't going to rain, and it was kind of right in that where they're kind of miserable and you're right on the edge of like that mindset, like, damn, it's cold out here. It's like, no, it's not bad. Not bad.
That was when you used to put out those long johns.
That's right, yeah.
You'd have those long johns.
The Dickie on too.
Yeah, everybody knew.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers and that Dickie was a different animal. We'd see warm-ups. We'd actually be waiting to place our bets. You'd come jogging out there in that long john looking thing, Dickie, and it's like,
boom.
This
Here
is
we go.
This is a Packers night. 10 to 30, 10 to 20. I think we could up that to 15. I think that could be 15 to 25.
No, 10 was nice. 10 was good. 10
Just keep the wind down. As long as there's no wind.
Yeah, but Green Bay's always windy, isn't
Wind's
it?
a big deal.
Isn't Green Bay? No.
No, that's Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, Windy City. But I think that was actually on the flip-flop. If you go back into there's actually a flip-flop, which right now,
Second city.
A lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world that we're in. Every time I've been in Green Bay, it's been breezy, though. It's not always breezy. That's why I always thought it was like such a terrible place if you had to kick, not just only the cold. I thought it was always kind of breezy there. Not the case, I guess.
No, not always. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to ask John about it. He's kind of the expert of all things Green Bay now. So maybe hit up JK, see if it's still breezy there or not.
I like you saying, I don't even want to give an answer because if I give an answer, I'm going to get a text from somebody saying, "Oh, you're an expert. You're the Doppler expert on."
I mean, I've done a little bit of research on the weather patterns over Green Bay over the years, but not a weatherman.
You're not a full Doppler like Joe DiNardo or John Cannon, obviously. Let's take a step away from football. Let's talk about life. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, around your birthday every year, it's always a good time for prayer and reflection.
Yep.
Amen.
Just curious, football or otherwise, what do you think the biggest takeaway you had from your 40th trip around the sun as you look forward to year 41 here?
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I think it was the best year of my life, for sure. I mean, last year I posted something about, I can't remember it was like one of those little internet sayings, and it was something about feeling more alive than you've ever felt before and more heartbroken than you've ever felt before in the same year, and that's kind of what 2023 was. But 2024 was a grind, physically for sure. I mean, the work to just get back onto the field, and then obviously dealing with a couple of little issues I've had this season. But it's been a really beautiful year, and I don't have any regrets about coming to New York. In fact, I'm so thankful. If I hadn't come to New York, my life wouldn't look the way it does now. And I was thinking about that, like how many beautiful blessings have come into my life since being a Jet. And there's a lot of them. People, experiences, memories. But just there's so many individuals that work in the building that I never would have met. I would have gone my life without getting to meet and get to know, Solomon Thomas, to be locker mates with Tack McKinley and Tyron Smith, and get to have great conversations with those guys. To be able to play with Morgan Moses, who's one of the realest dudes I've ever stepped on the field with, just an absolute G, just a stud, a warrior. To be able to make jokes with Will McDonald every day, to be able to watch Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Jermaine Johnson and Sauce Gardner as they start their what should be, epic long careers is really cool. To be able to be in the same locker room with Thomas Morstead, a longtime vet, and to watch him in his silly little running after he punts the ball and his crazy ass workouts and schedule he does, his CrossFit stuff. But just to tap in with him, every single day is really special. To be able to share a room with Tyrod Taylor, one of the coolest, smoothest dudes I've ever been around. I never would have got to know these guys in this way. I never would have got to be around Todd Downing and Nathaniel Hackett in this way again, and get to know Robert Saleh on a personal level, and get to know Jeff Ulbrich and his family, and Robert and his family, and get to hang out and play catch with his kid Adam and Jackson and Junior's kid, and have the handshakes and just all the things I experienced, man. My life would be completely different, and I promise you, not as full and not as rich if I hadn't gotten traded here and been on board with this happening. Obviously, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but damn, I'm really thankful for this time and this journey. And man, whatever happens, again, I'm open to everything and attached to nothing, but thankful for the journey.
Open to anything, attached to nothing. That has been kind of the mindset about the future. What you just said there was a beautiful recap of the last trip around the sun for you. But breaking news, there is going to be a docu-series about Aaron Rodgers, I believe over the last year or year and a half, on Netflix, dropping December 17th.
Oh, here we go.
It is titled Enigma. It is about Aaron Rodgers, and we have an exclusive trailer right now.
Oh, shit, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Yes.
I live between two worlds of the extroverted
1, 2, 3, dominate!
and an introverted lover of silence. I'm trying to beat back Father Time and the expectations.
Aaron Rodgers ain't for everybody.
Rodgers has shared controversial and crazy conspiracy theories.
It just feels like you're either for him or against him.
Losing friendships, family, it was heartbreaking.
Here come the Jets. Rodgers has something to prove. It is on.
Protection breaks, down goes Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has officially tore his Achilles.
It's catastrophic.
Is it time for him to retire?
What does the future hold for Aaron Rodgers?
I'm coming back to do it all. What's the risk of playing? That's not normal. People getting to see behind the curtain.
Have you thought about going into politics?
Once I started my spiritual journey, everything shifted. The metamorphosis is happening.
Most people are not doing the walking.
I'm not most people. I'm trying to find what a new edge is. There's football legacy.
Rodgers, a touchdown!
And then there's character legacy.
It was gonna be the big dog with me!
When that ride comes to a stop, who are you gonna be?
Hey, that's going to be sweet. And just like I say at the end of every single season for Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, thank you for allowing us to go alongside you for another year, another season. Thank you for allowing the world to get a chance to see your life in opening up and doing this docuseries. Are you excited? Are you pumped? Are you nervous? What are the thoughts as December 17th, that debut is about to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful for the last year. When Gotham reached out after I got hurt, we had a good conversation, and it was fun to have him along for the ride, and Liam and Sarah and some really amazing people I got to meet along the way. It chronicles a lot of the rehab. It chronicles a trip down to Costa Rica where we did ayahuasca. There's some great backstory stuff, from my 18 years in Green Bay, and some interesting interviews. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wide open. Just talking about all different types of topics, in the episodes, and it was definitely vulnerable to open up and allow them to be around and to take them to some of these things. But I'm excited I haven't seen like the final cuts or anything, but I'm thankful for the people I met in the process, and that there's this history of kind of the most difficult and the most rewarding year of my life, kind of now to go back and look at in 20 years.
Well, we appreciate you doing it. We can't wait to watch it. Shout out to the whole team at Religion of Sport, NFL Films, and everybody else that has collabed. I think Skydance is even in there somewhere.
A lot of collabs. Yeah, a lot of collabs.
Well, once again, there's NFL footage in it, so NFL Films is certainly going to be like, let's make sure this passes the sniff test real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not doing any of that. But congrats on that. I can't wait to watch it. I know a lot of us can't wait to see.
How the hell are you going to watch it? You're the busiest human being in the world. You ain't going to watch it.
So I'll download it on
Is there
the
a
plane.
Cliff Notes for it?
No.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. There's 3 episodes, I believe, right? If I'm learning right. 3 episodes. I'll download it before we get on a plane. I don't know if you've been having this issue, how much you've been traveling. Internet on planes hasn't been working as of late.
It's been tough.
It's been Sky. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is.
So I don't know if it's just our plane or what the hell is going on. So I would download it. I would definitely watch it. I can't wait to learn more about
You're
you, brother.
saying there could be some interference in the sky.
Everywhere, actually.
What's causing that?
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of. I don't know. Let's keep our eyes peeled, though. Okay.
Ever doing a Dave Matthews song?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll talk to you next week. Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Hey, they don't make documentaries about fucking nobodies, especially people that don't know how to hold fence. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's going to be sick.
Trailer was fire.
For the good of the program, by the way, 2 exclusive trailers today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Shout out.
Exclusive Tuesday.
Shout out to Netflix for allowing us to do that. Shout out to NFL Films for allowing us to do that for Hard Knocks. I think what we're all excited about is there's about to be phenomenal content.
Yeah.
That Enigma thing is going to be insane.
Yeah.
We're going into an ayahuasca thing?
Yep.
Cool.
Sign me up.
Sure, no one's going to have any thoughts on that either after.
I'm sure it's going to clear it all up.
Yeah, it should.
Yep. Absolutely.
Speaking of clearing it all up, tonight, college football playoff rankings are released 7 p.m. Eastern with Reese Davis and the boys. We'll be reacting to that and more tomorrow. Our show continues on ESPN Plus, YouTube, and TikTok Live. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye! Home run right there, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Nailed it.
Seconds start getting slower while I was looking at them. I'm like, wait, am I secondhand ayahuasca?
Yeah.
Well, time might be changing. The week after the Rodgers thing as well, show we all love, Squid Games is coming out as well.
Okay, so I've thought about that. Are we going to, now that we kind of know,
What about Squid Games?
What?
Oh, they said this next season is
different level.
Yeah,
way
better. Not believe the guy who created it basically said like I almost like worked myself into like killing myself trying to outdo the first season. So
well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because every once in a while there's a little cash grab for old number 2.
Yeah, no, I think it was always envisioned as like a 2-season thing. And then obviously it's going to be massive and Netflix is going to say, sorry, pal, we need another one.
And he's going to say, I don't want to. I
Yeah.
can't make it better.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well, figure it out.
Exactly.
And then we might lose this guy.
Yeah, potentially.
Could run away with the reality game show, though, because the Squid Games reality game show was also
I enjoyed
hilarious.
that. I watched
It was
that.
good.
Yeah.
Except for the ending, but
Yeah, I mean, no one died, so.
Oh, rock, paper, scissors is a big deal.
yeah,
was.
I mean, it was stupid.
What are you talking about? The one doofus had no idea that there was strategy.
Well, I know, but I mean, rock.
Did you hear about? Did you remember that? Do you remember the Squid Games reality show? Did you watch it?
I only saw a little bit of Squid Games.
It ended with a military lady, right? My ex-military lady who did some sort of like intelligence work, playing against some guy, right? I forget
Yeah,
who.
some doofus.
Some guy.
Idiot.
Final 2, and they're doing rock paper scissors. And if you win rock paper scissors, you get a chance to get a key. And if your key works, you end up being a winner. The guy openly, after just getting fucking annihilated, goes, I didn't know there was strategy in this thing. It's like this lady was just like, all right, doofus, what are we doing? Yeah, boom, all right. And he's like, he had no chance at all. But that's Squid Games football.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She was counting how many times he specifically used
Each one.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just getting worked. But that's Squid Games.
Exactly.
You have a strategy? You have a rock, paper, scissors strategy?
I throw a rock every fucking time. And I tell them I'm doing it too. Huh?
Oh, that's a mind trick.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get it,
There's
bro.
my strategy.
Yeah, boom.
And then guess what's coming the first 2?
Scissors.
Not fucking rock.
No, rock.
Yeah.
Rock has to come.
You got to prove it.
Rock
first.
has to come. Because like this is just like in when I used to play cards. I don't get to play cards as much. Boy, those first 10 hands, I'm telling everybody what I got. and then I'm showing everybody what I got, and then we're moving along. But now, for the rest of the night.
What's this fucking guy gonna do?
This guy's not fucking lying. Is he lying? There's no way. He's told us the truth a bunch of times. And then I'll show you. Listen, I'm not lying to you. Listen, this is not the time for you to want to go. I got it. I fucking got it. And then that's early in the night. They call. It's like, what are you doing?
I told you
Turn
not
it over.
to do it.
I told you. I got it, right? And now for the rest of the night, I got at least that guy. But everybody around wondering the same thing. Rock, paper, scissors, same game. Same exact game.
Okay.
It's poker, but there's only 3 options. And you can hold the nuts every single time. So I'm telling you exactly what's coming at least the first 2 times. But every once in a while,
okay.
Every once in a while, you have to stick with rock the whole time because
that's the rock.
You have to prove
Yeah.
to this person that you're not willing to lie right to their face. But every once in a while, I'll bust a full-on.
Whoopsies.
Boom, bitch. Okay, you thought that was coming. Scissors is by far the weakest option. I mean, I absolutely hate
Scissors stinks.
Scissors stinks. But it's the winner for me normally because everybody.
Yeah. You're telling them you're going rock?
I'm doing rock. What do you think I'm?
Wrap them up.
It's the weakest option until you stab someone in the heart with them.
Well, that's what you do.
Slit their throat.
The 3.
Slice the neck.
Like AJ did to. Hey, he's pissed at you. You're gonna get a side text.
Yeah, what a stupid question you asked him.
For what?
Yeah, you can commentate games.
He didn't like that.
Good
He didn't
question.
like that.
For now, it's not in the cards, I guess. Maybe someday.
Would you like to go on the record and say that he is going to commentate at least one game a year going forward or whenever he retires?
No, I thought about that, but I thought, like, what if, let's say Cal asked him to come do the spring game? It's fun. Hey, sit up in the spring game with us for, do the color commentary for the first half or something. He may get there and he loves it, and he's like, okay, here we go.
You count that as a win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cal's spring game.
Yep, there it is.
He counts. If
First half.
See, in my head, I was thinking, like, Netflix has Christmas games.
Yep.
They don't
No, I meant, yes, but I meant this would get him in. This would, like, open, he'd be like, oh, I actually do want to do this. Let me go explore this.
You know what? Up in the booth, it's pretty easy to tell exactly what everybody's about to do. Because that's like, he knows the defense. His big advantage, I think, as quarterback, and has been, is he knows what the defense is doing. That's like his MO. And he does it by reading the D line in the front 7. That is how he views it. So I think as a commentator, that's what has to get set first on the defensive side. So he's not looking for the offense. He goes backwards, I think, from what most people do.
Yeah, that's what made Romo's, and a lot of the great quarterbacks kind of start with the fronts. That would be their tails with certain pressures and shit behind it. But that's why Romo was so hot out the gates. Oh, my God, this guy's calling out all the plays. But, like, most of the times, quarterbacks know, okay, single high, got one-on-ones in the outside, split safety, hey, tight end, where's the matchup? No, so they can definitely limit down to 2 or 3 plays or concepts that's probably going to come on both sides.
And we're going to get to a point where that Amazon tracker of who's coming, who's not coming is going to be so accurate.
Spot on. Yeah.
It's going to get to, it's not 100%.
It's got a ways to go.
It does. It definitely is going to get better, but we assume it will.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of the.
Because it's still in its infancy. Once it has 4 or 5 years of like data and stuff like that, it'll be.
Yeah, it's going to start watching film on every defense.
Yeah.
Just like quarterbacks do. And it's going to start logging it.
Downs, distance, the whole thing.
Have you ever watched Prime Vision?
The stats and everything?
Where like kind of
I watch it from the end zone. Yeah, they watch from the end zone view a lot. And they have these dudes pop up and talk about different random stats or things that are happening.
All those things I think are good for the production of the game. But I think we're going to get to a point where the main booth is going to be able to use that as opposed to having it full on.
Added in.
It's going to become like a part of the main thing. In the, I don't want to say younger generation, because I assume Troy Aikman can figure it out.
Sure.
I got mad respect for the way Troy Aikman operates in the booth. And obviously Herb Street has his like telestrator that he's really good with. But at some point, the next generation of commentators, and maybe Tony Romo will be the guy that is doing it, just being able to drop all that shit in as if it's just a natural call of the game with the speeds and the who's coming, who's not coming, and telling the story without it being too much, like a dash of it without it being over the top. Like, this isn't a special feature. This is just how games are fucking called now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to watch how that all evolves. Like, I'm very, very excited for that. Because there can definitely be too much.
Yeah, at this point, I think that's, like, it's cool to check in on that, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, there's way too much shit going on the screen right now. It almost feels like you're watching one of those Nickelodeon games where you just got, like, bullshit popping up and going crazy.
Bullshit.
Slime Zone?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the target demo for those games, unless Lex Lumpkin's on the call, but they fucking did away with it.
Where is Lumpkin?
I don't know.
What happened to Lumpkin?
Probably on
replaced him?
There's going to be a
Who
slime
took his
time
job?
game.
Haven't been back.
He's probably on stage.
You know who's
Acting
calling
somewhere.
the Christmas game?
Who?
JH.
One of them, right? He's calling the Steelers one.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
I'll be excited to see how Netflix does.
With who?
Burleson and an Eagle, I believe.
Ian or Noah?
Ian.
Okay.
Nice.
I think.
Which one's which?
Ian
Noah's
is the
younger.
father.
Yeah.
Ian's dad.
The first
Noah's
name.
the boy who was with D Wade at the Olympics.
See, Ian instead of Ian feels like a boy thing.
That's not a real name.
Whoa, whoa.
It's not
tell
real.
that to Ian.
Okay.
You can't spell it like that. No, it's pronounced Ian. It's Ian.
Well, what if
we see it?
What if he's right and everybody else is
That
wrong?
could be true.
You know.
You would say that.
What if his brother's Ian?
What if Ian knows what he's doing and Ian has just been the wrong pronunciation?
If we didn't know, and that was the first time I've ever seen
IAN,
Ian.
and that's what his parents do.
Oh yeah, but
That's what Noah's father's father said.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we didn't know words,
If we didn't know the English language,
I've been in the spot.
Good luck arguing that one with me.
you with Ian?
Yep. No, with just words. Just call them how I see them.
Oh, you mean
What,
like
cheetah?
what?
Yeah.
Because they're in Kansas?
Cheetah. That was what.
wouldn't that be Wichita?
Yeah.
It depends on which I you're trying to pronounce which way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I guess it could be Wachita. Like,
Yeah, watch out.
like Ian, like Ian Eagle does. Obviously, an Eagle is going to be broadcasting a game. Let's assume there's a buck that's going to get on there.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I hope.
I don't want to. No, the boy, talent. So I'm not going to judge.
All this damn
But
nepotism.
boy, yeah, what a thing.
It's weird how that just.
It always works out.
Yeah.
New platform, brand new one.
I don't mind when they're good though.
Bingo. That's what I'm saying.
I don't
about
think,
those guys-
I don't think he's bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're
No.
good.
Yeah.
They're good, but it's
But they do. I mean, he's doing the fucking biggest game on NBC, Big Ten. You know, the night game every single week. Like,
and then probably have that job for 40 years.
without a doubt.
There's only one I've
the
ever
only
had.
person, yeah.
Yeah, there's only one we've ever had a problem with.
No, I was gonna say I had a problem, but like they basically like Jack Collinsworth did a couple Notre Dame games, and they were like, "You fucking suck. Get off the broadcast."
He had a whole season, didn't he?
Yeah, but
Not who I.
I mean, that's NBC primetime. So there's
Oh, yeah.
obviously another that
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
who.
who
I
are
think
you talking
Jack.
about?
I think Jack, great studio.
I think he is
I think
too.
good vibes.
Yeah.
I think Jack has good vibes.
Mhm.
I think he's good traffic too. He's
Yep.
good in and out because the way Football Night in America does, they're in two different sets.
Mhm.
So like he's obviously there's traffic and everything. Not everybody's built out to be in a booth like a football booth.
Well, and they
Not an
blew
easy
up that
job.
whole thing. So I mean, it was him and what
Garrett,
I think,
Yeah.
and they were just like, "All right, this doesn't work."
Primetime NBC though.
Yeah, but Garrett, I like him.
I like Jason Garrett
so do
a
I.
lot.
So do I. I thought
do too.
I thought he was great. He did the Packers game on Thursday night. I like him a lot.
So calling games, you like him. I like
Don't
him.
mind him. He's great in studio.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's good at like quick sound bites if he needs, because obviously they're potentially up against it. He's the last guy talking, so I know that what's probably happening in his ear is like, hey, 10 seconds here, and he's able to get a concise thought out, and then he's also able to lay some shit out. He's phenomenal on television. I think that was a phenomenal hire.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, Netflix, all their events and hires, I don't know how everybody has thought that it's gone thus far, but I think Christmas is going to be great.
Amen.
Don't
Always
ruin
is.
our Christmas.
Jage won't. Jage will be good.
If I have to put a table through a window and then my daughter's crying and my wife's crying and the whole family and Christmas is ruined because of Netflix,
You're
it's gonna
yelling
be
at
a
him.
real issue. Yeah.
I believe Mr. H, Triple
Yeah.
H.
Paul?
He said,
Hunter?
Paul, yeah.
The game,
The cerebral, the game.
Of course.
Yes.
the King of Kings.
The CCO of WWE, Mr. H, if you will. He was asked about the buffering with Netflix, and because Raw's going obviously on the Netflix live every single week. Huge deal, huge ordeal. Live sports on there, them getting invested in, the amount of money they spent. Good things. Good things. Selfishly for our show.
Good things.
Great things that they're doing that. But he said if it's buffering because there's 60 to 70 million people trying to watch,
Not
we'll
terrible.
deal with it. We'll deal with it. But with that being said, like Netflix got to experience that. Now the NFL's coming, going to be gigantic. And the NFL has gone to places where I think they've always been like, hey, we're going to help you out. We're going to boost you up. We're going to do that. Netflix with their global shit and how many people they have on that platform, they're helping the NFL out a lot too,
For sure.
in a lot of places. So Christmas is going to be gigantic, and I assume the booths are going to be good.
Yeah. Games are going to be good too.
Yes, they are. Steelers, Chiefs, Texans, Ravens.
Not bad.
That's a great lineup.
That's what we're talking
And we talk about Hard Knocks AFC North. That's
yep.
Right? Half the team's going to be a part of that. That's good shit for Mox. You watching Mox tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern?
I tell you what, that exclusive clip that you got, like I'm in, I'm all in. I'm looking at everything. I'm seeing. First off, I see, man, the Ravens facility is very nice. Nice, cozy atmosphere, like the cloth on the wall. It looks like a ski lodge or something.
They call it the castle. Their team meeting room. That's the biggest I've ever seen. Yeah. And then you look at obviously the Bengals. You see a couple folding chairs on the side, and it's like
shithole.
It's big. No, the Bengals is big. Big stadium seating.
I mean, if we're comparing apples to oranges, you look at the Ravens, and then you have that hard cut to the Bengals. It's like, are these guys in a high school cafeteria?
No. I wasn't going to say that, but the Ravens setup was awesome. It did look like a log. It's a castle, I guess. So
sick.
I don't know.
Edgar Allan Poe's.
They just turned one of the rooms.
Yeah.
Just one of the hallways into a team. That thing was beautiful. Large.
But yeah, the outdoor look. It looked like a golf country club.
Yeah.
Steelers chairs.
A little tight.
Yeah,
they split their facility, so they don't have as much space as everybody else.
They didn't have the comfy chairs. They had like the old slide-in chairs.
Tell we don't want them to be comfy.
Oh, you want them to fall asleep in there like the Loud House?
Well, they're thriving or surviving.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the entire message. When you talk to the NFL films people, obviously they're very excited about like the stars. Like there's so many stars. Like you go from Mike Tomlin talking and Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are sitting there with Danny Smith, who might be up for assistant coach of the year with his own little desk there next to him. And then you cut and it's like, okay, there's Joey Burrow and Jamar Chase sitting right there. And Zach. And then you cut and it's like, hey, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, John Hart. Like the amount of names that are just, I don't know how they're going to do 1 hour.
Exactly. Yeah. And the characters like Zay Flowers, he's hilarious. What's his name? Roquan Smith. And then you go to, Trey Hendrickson, who knows what his, entertainment value is, but like there are legitimate characters on every single team. Yeah. George Pickens. Are you kidding me? Like,
everything that has happened.
Everything that he does.
Please get him mic'd up.
TJ Watt. He said he was just giving a first down signal, but it did appear as if he saw somebody in the crowd and shot him. Yeah. But he said it was just first down.
Boom, yeah.
Just first down.
Yeah, they misinterpreted.
I mean, if Mahomes,
it kind of looks like you literally eyeballed one specific human and shot him in head or her in head. No, I was just
first down.
Say it, Connor. God, you're gonna say it.
I mean, if Mahomes got fined for what he did, Pickens is gonna get $100,000 for doing that.
Oh, you're talking about when Patrick Mahomes did the double goes.
Yeah, but that was just out.
That's Texas Tech.
But I think the thing about him, not only boom bang boom bow, Texas Tech, Red, they beat the hell out of West Virginia.
Yeah, -2.5.
But the double guns, I think the intent, he was no scope.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I think George Pickens, they said he did.
Yeah,
he aimed
got
down.
the laser on there.
Listen, if I know GP, he's not aiming.
Yeah, he did have a little.
He
did have a little. Yeah.
Death turn.
Saw him they had a side by side with him and somebody else.
Did they?
Was
it the exact same thing?
Was it a frozen frame? Because was there a person
Was it
on
Josh,
the receiver?
Was it Josh Allen?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was the exact same thing. Yeah, it was.
Josh Allen, he found somebody in the crowd, shot him in the head on a first down?
Yep.
Really?
It might have been a little different.
Found his bride-to-be and...
Oh, like Cupid.
Yeah.
No. Instead of a bow and arrow.
Yeah, sending love.
Pew, 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 pew. Yep.
Yeah.
Point right at her.
I think...
it's the extra finger.
Well, I think it's the context of... When you watch George, he actually found somebody.
Is that what it is?
It's just the fact that it was the conversation. I didn't know. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good conversation.
Nico Collins did it on Sunday and didn't get called for it.
He does it every game.
Yeah.
Once again, did he find somebody? I think the conversation is
where on the fields.
So you can just shoot up in the air, but you can't shoot directly at someone's face?
I think intent of whether or not there was bullet coming out of fingers would have murdered somebody, or if it was just a random spray. If it's a random, bang.
Oh, I guess he did.
Yeah,
just a little too much recoil.
Yeah, I think there was too much too much based in reality.
Yeah.
And they're big. Remember, that was like the first 3 weeks. We're not doing gun celebrations.
They were some good ones.
Hey,
Josh
There were
Johnson.
some great
Josh
ones.
Johnson.
Man. So good.
Pulled it out of his.
The guy shot that dude who was laying on the ground.
He shot him 30 times.
Yeah, the South Carolina guy, Jackson Dart.
He pulled a machete out, started stabbing him.
That's where the line was drawn.
That's where everybody. No, remember the one was when the guy lifts up his shirt, takes it
Brian Kelly's.
shuts it down
to his face.
No.
Oh, no. Okay,
D3. LSU was certainly.
Yeah.
That was just.
It didn't get on the sideline.
And NFL was like,
up there fouling.
We're not doing it anymore.
D3 would lost the game.
Yeah, they were down 20.
Inside 2 minutes, they were down by 20. The kid did that, and they were like, all right, automatic first down.
I remember he strapped him up. He locked him down.
He did.
Strapped him up.
And he added the show, yeah.
NFL, listen, we're not fucking doing it anymore. No more gun stuff. And George's like, well, I fucking need one last one.
Yeah.
Did you hear what this guy's saying?
Recoil, yeah.
What if you're that poor person? What if you're that person in the crowd and you saw him make eye contact with you?
You act like
with
you
his
got
fake
shot.
gun.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Yeah. You jump in front of your wife, you jump in front of your kids or something. I just saved your life.
You have no idea. All right. Speaking of no idea, I have no idea why people watch this program. But I'm pretty thankful for it. All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we got to cover all the news we haven't talked about. We've broke some news today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't got AJ's thoughts on last night. That's cool. Can't wait to hear that. Jameis Winston's the greatest.
I love Jameis.
Okay, we all have the same idea. Everybody's thinking the exact same? Mm-hmm. All right, let's bounce around the NFL. We'll wrap some stuff up, and then we'll head into a beautiful Wednesday. I think this last hour we're about to have, this one should be some of the most ridiculous shit we've ever done.
Hell yeah.
Some of the worst show we've ever done is coming right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's worthy of sticking around for. Because we've gone bad before.
Yeah.
This is going to be worse than ever. Hell yeah.
Here we go.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Speaking of changing a life, why don't you buy somebody a ticket to something?
Ooh.
You know, because when you go to an event, you're not just experiencing it then, you're telling stories about that for the rest of the time. You know, maybe you and a group, you and a family, you and a friend, maybe you solo. Whenever you guys rekindle or whenever you have a thought, you're going to tell a story about, you remember when we went, you remember when we went, you remember when we went. And it's not just the event itself, it's everything that comes alongside of it. And right now, at SeatGeek, when you use the code PAT, P-A-T, 2024, that's 2024, PAT 2024, you'll get $30 off tickets to anything.
Wow.
Doesn't matter if you're a new or repeat purchaser. $30 off with the code PAT2024. Restrictions apply. Obviously, I think if the tickets are less than $30.
Yeah.
I assume that is the restriction. But they have tickets to everything. And SeatGeek is the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon, which we might be heading to sooner than later.
Might have to.
With everything that's happening on the internet that we're reading. I don't know about you, AJ. It's a wild time to be alive, but the only thing that we can really trust when it comes to the ticketing world is our friends at SeatGeek.
That's right.
They'll have a green dot next to a ticket, say, hey, this is a good ticket. Yeah. Or they'll have a red dot next to a ticket and say, hey, this is a fucking terrible deal. They tell you the truth because they don't want you to be ripped off. They want you to come back. That's SeatGeek football, baby. Shout out to SeatGeek. Shout out to PAT2024 to get $30 off tickets to anything happening, which they have tickets to everything happening. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5.
I had no idea what to expect whenever I came out here to Utah. Stop that.
Yeah,
Stop
that.
Shock. I can't make it. Steve Smith Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-12 champion, head coach of the Utah Utes football team, pulling in on a Harley-Davidson Sportster, I do believe, Coach Kyle Whittingham.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wished for. None left over for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching this. Just finished the maiden voyage, hopping off the Mayflower. Said I'm trying to kill them off, whatever the take down. Seen the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals.
I mean, you got to do it. It is 34 degrees out here in the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Mighty Utah student section has been here in abundance. They've been loud. In today's a day where they showcase to the world that it's not just Mormons and soaking in Utah. No. It's great football and an incredible fan base. They've been so kind. I appreciate the hell out of you all.
Have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life?
Yes.
All right, relax, dude. Okay. Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron. You know that 29 out of the last 30 home games that happens right here at the University of Utah, the Utah Utes win. Cam Rising said yesterday, we don't lose at home, and today, they ain't losing. This place is going to be soaking in celebration this evening. You guys were absolutely phenomenal. This morning, you showed everybody that this is a town you don't want to play. I am jacked, dude.
Lighting's great.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, you know, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure. That you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
There is a crowd of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands of you skipping class. It doesn't matter if they go to class.
Moana is one of the best animated films of all time.
What?
Okay, can't wait for the live action.
Thank you, yes.
But
You're welcome.
We talk about Mana,
What can I say except you're welcome?
and we talk about Mana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I couldn't even let it buried its guts. Sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What does it take away? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me, Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Still got it.
On the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit. Mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana. It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Mwah. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup. Sorry, Mike.
Here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
See you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Probably the most interesting trade was the Randy Moss trade. After the draft, the first day of the draft, we've been trying to trade for Randy Moss for 2 months. All like childbirth. I mean, it took forever. After the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. And I said, are we going to make this deal or not? And he said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your 4th. And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. I said, well, we got to get the guy in for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're going to have to renegotiate his contract. And Mr. Davis said, well, that's your problem. If you want to trade for him, then you get it done. I said, all right. I call up Randy. Hey, Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Boom. Hangs up the phone.
What?
Let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Boom. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is... All right. Really? I said, yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. He goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up, take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. It's by noon? Yeah. He goes, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there.
Nice.
He flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical. You know, the old...
Yeah. Make sure he's alive.
Okay, you're good. Renegotiate the contract. We're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, where's the playbook?
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I said, right here. He said, okay, because when I walk out there with the first team with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. On this post-safety coverage, what are you going to do? He goes, Coach, you ain't going to see any post-safety coverage against me. Like, oh. He goes, you're going to see cover 2. We haven't seen cover 2 in years. years. He's like, you're going to see cover 2. And he was right. And then he would say, well, here's how I'd run this route. Here's how I'd run that route. And I started thinking, like, we got to start giving Randy some routes. We're running this, and they play cover 2. How we can move him into the slot. He's like, move me into the slot. I said, yes, you can get in the middle and cover 2. He's like, all right, good. 25 touchdowns.
So many.
Yeah, opens up the running game, too.
But I'm telling you, it was Randy, come on, man. I'm trying to.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts right now. Football is wonderful. That man has won a college football national championship in the sport and a Super Bowl in the sport. Wow. AJ, you looking forward to tonight's college football playoff rankings? How are they going to punish Ohio State? Uh-oh.
What are they doing? Where are they going to go? Where do you think they're going to be tonight?
They went from 2 to 7 in the AP, and the AP, no offense, one half of the hammer, bad Cowboys, Tone Diggs. The AP ranking means nothing.
No.
That's the Talks Tables at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. AP rankings, good for conversation, good for chatter. In the NFL, I think the awards and everything obviously weigh heavy, and I think the AP awards in college ball obviously mean something, but the rankings, the AP rankings mean like nothing. Right?
Actually nothing.
Actually nothing right now. It's just
why do we have them now?
Because they've always done them. So they're just going to continue to do them. And there's people, obviously, I think it's good for fodder. And then I think Ohio State fans should be like that. It goes 2 to 7, I think, in the AP poll. Now, does that have any bearing on 13 people in a room trying to make the college football playoff ranking? Maybe. We're not 100% sure. Maybe they take the AP's voting seriously into account whenever they're doing their discussion. But what are your thoughts? What if Ohio State tonight is out?
13.
What if Ohio State is out of it tonight, AJ? How are you going to handle that?
I mean, I think that would be a bit surprising, wouldn't it, if they are out of the top 12?
Yes, it would be.
I'm just trying to get a good feel for where we're at and how shocking that would be, because that would be a bit surprising. Yeah, I would say that'd be pretty disappointing if Ohio State dropped out of the top 12 here.
And then are they going to set up and make the decision already about the SEC and the ACC this week? Or are they going to push this off until next week when everything really matters after the conference championships? Like, are they going to make a decision tonight to figure out and answer the question about Ole Miss, Alabama, South Carolina, ACC second team? Are they going to tip their hand on what they're going to do next week when it actually matters? I mean, all TBD this evening.
Well, and like how much is really going to change? Because you would assume that the teams that are already in the conference championships, the big ones, like the Big Ten and the SEC, like those 4 you assume are in. So, like, aside from the teams that, like Clemson, for instance, that's not in the top 12, but they're playing in their conference championship, like how much?
So, Joe Tessitore said numerous times.
Love Joe
numerous times.
Yeah.
For a win and a spot in the college football playoff during that 8 overtime game against Georgia Tech. And I think I was watching, and I'm very lucky to be privy to a lot of conversations about college football because of game day and everything like that. And I'm like, has that been decided? Like, I actually sent a couple of texts. I'm like, hey, have they come out and said, like, hey, you make the conference championship, you're good. Like that. Have they come out and said that? I don't think they have. So every time Tessitore said that in this electrifying game on Friday night. I mean, it was hard to fall asleep. It was hard not to stay glued to it. And there's some people, I guess, that don't like the shootout, the back and forth 2-point conversions that took place. It was like a buzzsaw of action, and there had golden goal implications. And obviously the anxiety was high for both sides for a long time. I assume everybody was exhausted after 8 overtime game. And even though there wasn't as many plays as there could have been in the past in that many overtimes, it's like emotionally, it's like, and then a stop. Or you need to score, and then you get it. It was like, that was awesome. That was cinema.
Sick.
But every single time Georgia was about to win, Tessitore was just saying, spot in the college football playoff. And I guess that's just to be expected. But if Georgia loses to Texas, all of a sudden they have 3 loss. They're out. Now, are they in the... I'm not saying Georgia doesn't deserve a spot. I'm just saying you make championship, you should make that. That is how I feel, and that is how the committee has, kind of talked. Is they stress The championships matter. The championships matter. Well, then making it to the championship should matter. But if you make it to the championship and you had another loss to your resume, is that going to be held against you whenever you do the College Football Playoff Committee? And we would hope that would be no. But the reality of the situation is it definitely will get held into account in the entirety of the conversation.
If they lose, I think Georgia's okay. But if they get blown out, like the way that Tess was talking was it was guaranteed. But like if it looks bad for Georgia,
I Tess. And then the quarterback.
Especially if Arch Manning is
quarterback doesn't like football. So.
What's that?
I'm saying the quarterback doesn't even like football. Do they take that into consideration?
I think they do.
What are you talking? Here's the
He
video.
likes football.
We do
Are
not
we
have
sure?
it. If we could pull up, please. If we could resend it back in
I
there,
don't
Tone. He works too hard.
He's not
The
obsessed.
guy can't just watch football.
Stressed out?
Yeah.
He needs to study what's going on the defensive side. I don't like the way you phrased that right there about Carson Beck.
And I don't like that a quarterback doesn't like football.
Well said, D-Bucks. Well said.
Come
on. Well said.
This clip, Tone ran it this morning. D-Butch was, 10 feet away?
Yep.
10. I don't think he was even in the vicinity of the video running. Heard it. He goes, take him off the draft board. I don't want it. And Carson Beck gave an interview. I was at a press conference. He was asked about watching Texas A&M and if he learned anything.
With the way the schedule worked, you got to sit there and watch Texas A&M on Saturday night. Was there anything, that stood out to you, maybe that was different that you picked up from watching Texas's defense?
Yeah, well, I don't watch football, so I know that sounds kind of
Take
crazy.
him off the draft board!
No, I
That's what D-Buck,
don't
that's how it
really enjoy
works.
watching football. It's not fun for me.
But then he said.
I watch film, so, I'll explain for a second what I mean by that. So if I watch that game, I'm not just going to be able to sit there and enjoy it. I'm going to stress myself out the whole entire time. I'm watching the defense. I'm like, okay, why this coverage on this down? I'm like, well, why did he throw it there against this coverage? But you can learn from watching it, but no, it's stressful for me because I don't ever give myself a break whenever it comes to football. But I've watched the film back, obviously now afterwards, knowing that we're going to be playing Texas in the SEC championship. But their defense is really good. They have a lot of talent on defense, and their defense coordinator does a good job at putting them in good positions to execute and play at a high level.
Very accurate statement. I think Texas's defense is like 1 or 2 in literally every single stat. Yeah. Very, very dominant. They've been able to replace pieces that left and went to the NFL and everything like that. But he explained he's too, like AJ said, he's too dialed in.
Yeah.
He can't just watch. He has to nitpick and understand why things are happening. He likes football too much, I think, is what he was saying.
Yeah, that was good explanation. I don't know. I've been around a bunch of quarterbacks. Good ones, bad ones, okay ones. The great ones I've been around, I never heard them say, I don't really watch football.
What?
If I do it, I'm too locked in. I'm too this, too that. We could ask fucking Aaron about, what's going on in college football. He's in the middle of the season. Brady, Peyton, but to each his own. Hey, these kids are different, And I'm not the guy who's like, hey, if you got any other interest outside of football, I don't want you on the team. You're not watching 10 hours of film. I'm definitely not that dude. But
sounds like
that to come out and say, hey,
sounds like
he said, I watch TV, I watch film.
Yeah,
I watch film.
You watch the highlights.
If he shows up and beats Texas' ass, it doesn't matter.
Again.
Which has already happened, which was a big part of the conversation for the whole college football playoff because Texas, who they beat? Who they beat? They didn't beat anybody. They played one good team, and that team came into their house and beat them. Then they go to Texas A&M and get a massive win.
Yeah, they beat Oklahoma. So if we want to do the, who beat Alabama, who beat Georgia. So, if you want to jumble it all together, Texas got a couple pretty good wins.
Texas, hey, Nick Saban said at SEC Media Days, who's going to be in the SEC championship? He said Georgia and Texas. And he got a lot of shit, remember? Because that was before they even named it Saban Field. It was still a part of the whole thing. They're like, oh, he's already turned into a talking head. People in Alabama weren't thrilled about it. I think we were even like, damn, you could have just said Alabama. That would have fun. That would have been just an easy way to kind of get through your first SEC Media Days. But instead, he's like, I look at the talent, I look at the roster, I look at film. This is...
Two best teams.
It's just two best. And then lo and behold, here they are. And I think they're both safe, obviously, for the college football playoff, especially with how the year has gone. But every time Tess said, yeah, it's scary, that was...
He might have his WWE hat on, though, when he's doing that.
He is on Monday Night Raw.
Exactly.
There's a chance. Drew McIntyre!
Drew McIntyre, big return last night.
It's awesome.
Claymore.
I didn't know it was him. Well,
there's only one person that does the Claymore.
Yeah.
Okay. There's only one
Not
Claymore
one.
around town.
Not two.
And it's Tree.
Not three. 4 clamor.
Oh, I
kicks.
thought it was 3. I didn't know.
It typically is, but a night, a triumphant return like that, I think it calls for 1 additional clamor kick.
I'll tell you what, I saw the back of him, and the hood was up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, the natural thought in wrestling is that? And then obviously, yes, immediately. But that guy's a barn.
He is.
He's so jock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just a jock Scottish man.
Almost at Sheamus's level.
Well, Sheamus got the Celtic Warrior workouts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen those. Those have been going.
Yeah, I saw him do it with, who was his last one?
I don't know. The last thing I saw him do was slip and fall, but he handled it like an absolute.
It was with Jade Cargill, and they did her ab workout.
He's
It's
jacked.
crazy.
Jade Cargill is absolutely
I can't wait.
Jacked.
He's sitting in the room with the Fighting Irish football team, waiting to see where they're selected on selection day.
Yeah. Well, if he can make it from Georgia Tech.
Well, he knew those Georgia Tech lads were going to fight the way they fought against Georgia.
He might be, at this point, in Georgia's huddle.
He could.
If they want a little boost.
They should.
Yeah. We missed you, Sheamus.
Love you, Sheamus.
Why they do Big E like that last night? I didn't like that.
I read the longest thing I have ever read in my whole life.
Wow.
Okay? My whole entire life. It has been talked about. I think Dan Patrick mentioned it today. I have never read a book. Okay? Sue me. That's on me. Never been able to get through front to the back. Did the whole school thing, obviously, like everybody did. There's books that are required. Did a quick, hey, can you summarize what happened there? Boom, gets it in there. I understand what's happening in the books. Okay, I get it. Never been able to sit down. I scroll a lot. I read a lot on a daily basis. But quick. This thing's quick hitters. I'm not going to. I read his Players Tribune article yesterday. Took me, I think, 33 minutes, 34, 35, like anywhere between 30 to 35 minutes to read this whole thing. I was 12 minutes in, and he was 19 years old, and he was at Iowa. And I didn't know I was 13 minutes. I got down, I scroll. He wrote this whole thing. And I look up at the clock, I'm like, holy shit, where's the time go? I can see how people get lost in books.
Oh yeah.
I've never even thought about reading a book, but after reading Big E's Player Tribune, I'm like, I can see how you get lost in there and just keep going, because I was not going to stop until I got to the bottom. There was numerous times where I'm like, that's got to be it, and then
nope.
We got another chapter that we're about to open up, but it was phenomenal. And then for that to happen last night from Kofi and Xavier Woods, in front of the world after reading his whole life story,
Didn't love that.
I was heartbroken.
It was
Screwed
tough.
up.
Will he ever be medically cleared?
Well, they poked fun at that, didn't they?
Yeah. Go back to your desk.
He said, I want to be here with you guys, motivating, inspired by what we've done. Get the fuck out of here.
We don't
That's what
need
they
you.
said to him.
Yeah.
Right to his face.
Yeah.
Fucked up, man.
Especially if you read his life story like I did just hours before that. You don't cast this guy aside, please.
No, yeah.
Hawkeye.
He is a Hawkeye.
He is.
One of the good ones.
We'll always have a spot for him back home if he wants to come back.
Well, actually, that's a big part of the story. When he wasn't a part of the team, but he was still at Iowa, they let him work out in the gym.
Boom.
When he worked out in the gym, then he met somebody, was able to work out, got bigger. They ended up with the connection. Like, Iowa took care of him.
We always do.
That's what the story that I read yesterday for 30-some minutes told me. And then last night, New Day rocks. No more.
New Day stinks.
New Day stinks. New Day sucks. New Day sucks. It's probably what's coming right down the pike.
Should be.
I wouldn't mind it.
It's sad.
Me neither. They need to get that pool noodle that Kai has.
Smack him.
Both of them.
Yeah.
No helmet.
Whoa. Shit. Easy.
That's what I'm talking about. I get captivated by those streams. I start watching them. I'm just like, these guys' lives, they're the Truman Show.
They went 30 days.
I'm watching Kai, just Truman Show. That's what I'm watching.
It's nuts.
Old buddy, Spider-Man guy doesn't sleep, Miles.
Yeah.
If you see Miles.
What a guy.
He goes hard.
What an interesting guy.
Goes hard on the paint.
I mean, he really causes quite a bit of chaos whenever he's around. You know, that's a boom.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, Kevin Hart almost lost a helmet there. Boom.
Good. Good swing.
It's a celly they did last night.
Yeah, there was. And then I saw, I think, internet people kind of got exposed last night or whenever that celebration took place. Somebody said, what was this? It was like, you have not been paying attention at all to the internet and what's going on. Kai and team over there, hey, fucking everywhere. Crushing.
Truly.
Got to be so goddamn electrifying to have a camera on you and people want to watch. nothing but mad respect. And the way they're doing it at such a young age, way to go over there.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. I watch that shit. Drewski and Kevin Hart, what a combo when they're around. Drewski just getting to the tipping point there was awesome. That fucking drummer.
Throwing the drum set.
Dude, I can't take it anymore. He said. And then all of a sudden he's going to put it back up. All right, I'm out of it. It was amazing. I'm a big fan. Anyway, speaking of being a big fan, guy joining us now is one of the leading voices in the NBA.
Hell yeah.
He's handsome, he's young. He's a senior NBA insider at ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Yeah, Shams.
Shams, how you doing, pal?
I'm good. People really want to be on Kai's stuff. Kyrie Irving literally flew out to LA on Thanksgiving to do his show, to do his stream. What's it called? Mafiathon 2.0. And the next, I guess later that night or the next day, he's at practice the next day for the Dallas Mavericks, late morning. So
well, I think my favorite
that's dedication. That's respect.
Definitely mad respect. And, good for Kyrie, I think.
He crushed it.
Crushed it, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure he enjoyed it. They were dancing. He got Kyrie dancing again. I mean, it's
some
good content.
My favorite clip, he is an actor. Hey, call it the phenomenal stuff. My favorite thing about it is when he took the wrapper off the bottle of water.
Yeah.
It was like, these people, I don't drink this fucking water. Nobody needs to know that. Yeah. Let me throw that away. And it's like, that was his immediate thought, too. Like, no chance am I doing that. Hey, good stuff. Anyways, let's go to the NBA. What the hell's going on over there? I haven't heard anything. Have I heard anything about the NBA?
No, not really.
Have you heard anything?
Nope.
Have you heard anything?
No, Celtics are winning the title, but I haven't heard that. I just know that.
I heard Tyrese back, right? Halliburton's all the way back. What?
I think BC cashed all his checks in the day Kristaps Porzingis came back. I think BC was mentally already looking at a championship trophy that day. That's
score
what I think.
51 points in a quarter. Someone else do that. Prove it to me. No one else can. It's the Celtics league, and it will be forever.
Yeah, and he said eyes on championship started then. You got to remember, he sits next to it every single day.
I kiss this thing every single day.
Really?
Yeah.
Ty, you know that he's...
Is that a real trophy, though? Is that
It's gold, bitch.
It's like a replica.
I don't think that's gold.
Pure gold.
I don't think that's gold. Anything happening in the NBA that we need to know? What's going on? Hold on, I did see something. Zion Williamson got a whole new back tattoo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, you remember that?
It looks sick.
That was not the conversation, though, about that video. Everybody said, sweet back tattoo. Also, what's going on here? What is going on right now with our guy Zion? Zion, is he playing? I know back tat looks sweet. Everything else everybody was talking about. But what's going on with Zion down there?
Zion Williamson's been out, I believe, since around the first week of November. I think November 8th, November 9th. I don't have around that early November time period. He's still out. It's about a month later, a little under a month later. He's not close to coming back.
Jeez.
He's not going to be back this week. He's not going to be back next week.
Jesus Christ.
The good news for the Pelicans, from what I'm told, he did start to get on the basketball court over the weekend. They were in New York for a game against the Knicks on Sunday. So he got on the court, but very, very light activity from what I was told. And this is going to be a gradual. We know about the steps. We know about the steps.
The warm up. The warm up.
Yeah, 1-on-1, 2-on-1,
2-on-1, 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s. Get him through his progression. It is tough for Zion though, because he came into the season, guys. He's the lightest he's weighed since his rookie year. He came in great shape. And to have him hurt already, and that hamstring, it's been a chronic issue for him. He's had multiple hamstring strains over the last few years, so he can't catch a break. He's out. We'll see exactly when he's going to be back. Is it going to be at the end of this month? Is it going to be into January? The Pelicans don't know. And the other issue that they have...
Now, hold on. Before we move on to any other issue, let's finish up Zion here. And I appreciate you having other news, and we'll definitely get to that. Zion with the hamstring, he's so explosive.
No, he's not in fucking shape.
What?
Like soft tissue, you got to be in shape. You got to be professional.
Did you see the tattoo video?
You got to be proactive and staying away from that. Like, come on, you're too young to have. What's his contract? Do they have an out as a team going forward with his contract?
There are ways where if the Pelicans were to waive him come off season, potentially, they would be able to do that for free. That I don't believe that's not something that's on the table. That as of right now, the Pelicans have no intention to waive Zion Williamson. They want to figure out a way, anyway, to find the people around Zion Williamson to do anything to get him to be on the court. That's their number one objective. Really? You don't want to waive a guy that early and then he goes out somewhere else and he's healthy because we know when he's on the court, even this year, the numbers he puts up, he impacts winning. He just has not been on the court. He has not been optimized the right way for the Pelicans because he simply just is not on the court.
So that tattoo video. So every time
I will say that video, from what I understand, that was a video that was taped in the offseason.
I'd hope
it
so.
came out
before he got in shape.
But
Okay, good.
I will say this: it did take place, from what I understand, in the offseason, not recently.
Okay, that's a big deal. I would like to let that be known, yeah, because from that time to, because anytime he goes to media day before the season, and I'm a massive Zion fan. Actually, the day before COVID happened, I introduced the Pelicans, the entire starting lineup, down in the blender down there in New Orleans, strictly because on the internet I was so loud about Zion not being the last person introduced. Like, the only reason you guys are on national TV is because this fucking guy is on your team, and they introduced him like second or third or something. I'm like, let the guy come out last. Like, what are we even doing here? So that started a relationship with me and the Pelicans. I go down there. That's how big of a fan I am of Zion, because I've said this before. I've been watching him since he's, 13, 14 years old?
Yep.
Just dunking, doing shit that just like, oh my God, this is a special.
This is a Zion-friendly show. This is a Zion-friendly show. Everyone wants him on the court. The league would love for him to play. The Pelicans, we as fans, any basketball fan, you want to see a guy like that play. He is really one of one. I mean, I remember his rookie year, that was a conversation, right? A guy that's 280 plus pounds, a guy that's 6'6", and can jump and move and play way above that size from a height perspective, and the way he's able to move his weight and get off the ground. Like, no one does it the way he does it still. He just has not been able to stay healthy.
That's the issue, though, because he's been able to do all that at the weight. There's really been no repercussions for any of his other stuff. Like, you can be a little bit, he's probably a little bit more lackadaisical with the dieting.
Lackadaisical. Or lackadaisical, or whatever the hell he said.
Tough word.
I see what you did there. Lackadaisical.
Yeah, exactly. You did see and hear what he did there. But yes, I think that maybe he got away with a lot of stuff because of how athletic he was. It happens in football, too. It happens in professional sports. At some point, though, you got to get to I got to be a pro. Like, I got to be a pro. And I think that's what you were saying whenever they're like, the Pelicans, the league, everybody just wants people around him that want him to be be a pro, basically, is like kind of the message here.
I don't know what team they can assemble of trainers, of staff, of someone. They need to figure out a way to get Zion Williamson.
Come on, Zion!
Whatever they have been doing over the last 5 years of his career, or whatever it is at this point, like, it has not worked to a highly optimal
and I'm sure it'll
level.
Just flip like that and work now. Okay.
What's your problem? Why don't?
I mean, how many fucking excuses are we gonna make for this guy? Like, when it's basically like, hey, we need to go out and fucking hire Doogie Howser. That's the only way we can keep him healthy. Guess what? It ain't fucking happening. Okay, the guy can't do it. He might need to go somewhere else. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I want to see him play too, but I'm sick and tired of this happening. Zion tweaks his hamstring. Oh no, he's gonna be out for fucking 6 months. He's gonna be out 6. There's just no way we can get this guy back right now. He's just
he's got to do one-on-ones.
Yeah, one-on-ones,
2-on-1.
This is the thing.
3-on-2.
This is a 6-week injury.
What's that, buddy?
It's a 4 to 6 week injury, but the Pelicans said indefinitely because with Zion saying you don't know. Could it be earlier? Could it
He's
be
not
later?
a fucking alien. He's a human being. What do you mean you don't know? This is the 5th year this has happened.
They don't know.
Jesus Christ.
You just want to see him play.
Just want to see the fucking guy play.
Joke, man.
Just get on the court. That's all we want.
It's a fucking joke.
We would love it if you were just on the court.
They don't know.
That first picture of media day is always a big one for us.
Yeah.
Whenever they put up a picture of Zion at media day, we're always like, how he looked kind of John.
He had the beard.
Yeah, and I think they even like a little bit broke a sweat a little bit, had a little glistening going on. And it's like, hold on, Zion's in shape. Then he gets hurt, then he's out. Then that tattoo video drops, and it's like, what?
Wait a second.
Not great timing on that tattoo video, by the way. For something to be filmed in the summer to drop while you're out, and your team, this team, what are they, 4-17 right now?
Jesus Christ.
They fucking blow.
And no thoughts of moving on.
Get rid of him.
I know Brandon Ingram, he just.
Well, so hold on. I think that's potentially what you were going to get into. What else is the other things happening with the New Orleans Pelicans, and also Zion come up here to Indiana?
Exactly. Sure. Change of scenery.
You think he needs Kilroy's breadsticks and his basket?
Listen, there's good food here.
Good eats.
There's good eats
Well,
here.
it sounds like he needs to just go because the team doctor for the Pelicans is from 1745. Let's maybe get a fucking guy who knows about modern medicine. Like, well, we could try.
They have had so many guys injured this season. They've had it's like
exactly.
It's like a hospital.
Well,
like, they
let's try
got
giving
one
him
guy,
a lobotomy.
two guys,
They
three
used
guys.
to do that too. It's a
They
fucking
got 6
joke.
guys at one point out. Like it's.
So what else is
You
that? What's
can't
going
win the
on?
NBA.
4-17.
This
brother.
team stinks.
Doogie House.
Dude, that was a good call. That was a good call.
I missed that
Doogie.
show. It was a good show.
It's a good show.
Good show. Just need that. What else were you about to say before you wanted? You just wanted to move past all that. This
do it.
show, what the
Can't
fuck?
do it.
Well, and the crazy part is, you guys got some more information out of that conversation. Right? Like people didn't know that that back
Give and take.
tattoo, the one that we saw, that was from the summer. Also, there's not going to be a Zion Williamson waiver. They need to figure out how to get him on the court. But also, this whole Pelicans roster, they've had so many guys in and out. You can make the case from an on-paper perspective, this is the most talented roster the Pelicans have ever had. The problem, none of them are able to have consistent health. DeJounte Murray, he's out. Herb Jones, he's been out a significant period of time. The young players, Jordan Hawkins, he's been out. CJ McCollum, he's out. Zion Williamson, he's out. Brandon Ingram, he's out with a calf injury. I do think Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, potentially back on Thursday. So now you're somewhat whole, but you still have Zion Williamson and Jose Alvarado out with hamstring injuries.
He's sneaky.
And so they have so many injuries. I'm like, calf, hamstring, we don't know what it is. So those two guys are still out. But Brandon Ingram's future, I think between now and the February trade deadline, is he going to sign a contract extension or is he going to get traded? He's in the last year of his deal, $36 million. He just made an agency change. And when a player changes an agency in the last year of his deal, what are you trying to accomplish here? And when Brandon Ingram, I think his future is in greater focus now. And I believe these conversations with him are going to heat up between now and January. Will it be an extension or will it be a trade? That's what the future is for Brandon Ingram. He's a guy, from what I'm told, he wants to win. He wants to compete. The problem is this team is not doing that right now. We still have not seen them fully healthy this season.
Brandon Ingram, phenomenal vibes and altitudes, right? When I saw him?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Same guy.
We'd like him to come to the Pacers, too. Let him come to the Indiana Pacers.
No one wants to do that either.
What's that? He wants to win. He wants to come to Indiana, play for the Pacers.
Who's his new agent?
Yeah, where'd he go from? Because didn't Zion change agencies, too?
Zion Williamson changed agencies. He went somewhere, and then he went to William Morrison Devers.
WME.
And then Brandon Ingram, he went to Clutch Sports with Rich Paul. So you make a move like that.
I wonder where he's going.
And I think everyone understands there's some business that's going to be handled too.
Could be anywhere. I think Rich kind of just runs the whole thing. Remember he was calling people, don't draft him.
Yeah, he's not going to come. So
you want him to go play in Australia?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Turns out there was no chance he was doing that.
Well, that's
supposedly.
That's part of the game.
Supposedly.
That's part of the game. Okay, let's talk about Rich Paul and LA. D-Butch got a question for you.
Yeah, the face of the league, one of the greatest of all time, LeBron James. I've seen a lot, obviously we're in the middle of football season, I've seen a lot about his struggles from three-point.
What?
20 missed threes in a row. What's going on with Bron right now? Just in a tough stretch?
I mean, he said it last night, right? He's offensively, he's bad right now. And he said it himself. He's not making threes at a high level. The prior night, 27 points, I think 14 assists in Utah on a back-to-back. Good numbers. He did shoot, shot 12 of 28 from the field. So not the efficient LeBron that we're used to. Year after year, we're used to seeing great field goal percentage, 55% from the field, 58% from the field. He hasn't been as efficient. His on-off numbers are the lowest they've been throughout his whole career. When you look at it statistically, this is one of his down seasons. There's no question about it. I think the offense, they need to make sure Anthony Davis is back at the orbit of the offense. His usage rate over the last 5 to 7 games has been very low. You can't not have the ball can't not. You can't have the ball out of Anthony Davis's hands.
This guy, man.
In the fourth quarter of these games, Anthony Davis needs the ball in his hands, and so they need to get back to playing around Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis stepping up and having a fluid offense. We've seen LeBron James have a pretty heavy usage in the fourth quarter, and also you saw JJ Redick speak about it last night. LeBron James has a goal of playing all 82 games. He has a goal of playing these back-to-backs. Wow. They're on a back-to-back. In Utah on Sunday, the team lands in Minneapolis at like 3:30, 4 in the morning to ice, to deplane. By the time you're in bed, you have a game the next day. I wonder, are the Lakers going to reevaluate that situation, allowing LeBron James to continue to play back-to-backs? Are they going to look to manage him a little bit more at the age of almost 40 years old?
Do you remember, just talking about, they get paid a lot of money, so nobody feels bad. But landing at 3:30, not going to bed till 5:30, 6 a.m., that sucks. Mm-hmm. Especially as a 40-year-old, I couldn't,
Minneapolis.
It's cold as
freezing.
Shit. Just the process of getting off plane, in car, travel to hotel, then check into hotel, go to room, set up room, right? Because we need to plug in.
Yep.
We need to do the entire thing, then sleep. That is just a miserable probably hour and a half there after landing.
No doubt.
Once again, they paid a lot of money, fucking deal with it, but that is the NBA world.
Yeah.
You're 22, too.
Yeah, that is
That's why we get, so pissed off when Zion's out for 6 months with a hammy.
Yeah, because he's
40-year-old Bron trying to play 82 games.
Well,
jeez Louise.
Zion football.
I'm bummed.
Jaylen Brown also said last night when your best players don't play back-to-backs, it's hard to be a great team. I don't know who he's throwing those shots around at, but
who's he throwing those shots at?
Wow.
Who's that at? Who do you think that's at? Shams, we don't
say it, Shams.
We don't follow the NBA enough. Who would he be talking
Last
about?
night, Jimmy Butler sat on the second night of a back-to-back. We know Joel Embiid was very vocal about sitting back-to-backs this season. Only person who knows is Jaylen Brown. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, Jimmy Butler clearly wants to get the fuck out of that dump.
Okay, all right. So LeBron missed what? Hey, LeBron missed 20 straight threes. That's what we're saying.
What
I think he's at 19. What is he? Is he at 20 or 19?
I saw 26 away from the record with is held by Grant Williams, I believe, at 25.
Okay, so we'll say 20. He's going to make his next one, so this ain't going to be a problem. We are big fans of LeBron over here. That guy has been a professional athlete for as long as I have memories. Even because he was a professional athlete as like a 13-year-old. He was doing the entire thing. So with that being said, Shams, just a non-NBA player, 20 NBA threes. How many should one hit, you think? Just non-NBA player.
Non-NBA, I mean, 5 to 8.
Okay, so we'll go 7. We'll go 7 there.
7. I mean, that's a pretty good field goal percentage.
Maybe 9.
Okay, so we'll say
that's
8.
Not bad.
9.
We'll say Let's
go. No. That's tough. Let's go 7. 7's good.
That's just common citizen.
Well, because we're talking
shooter.
I mean,
Foxy's a good shooter.
Foxy's a great
over 30%.
shooter.
Okay, so we'll go 8, 9.
8.5.
8.5
was the overrun.
Okay, 8.5. All right, so Foxy, will you shoot 20 NBA threes right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you hit over 8.5.
I like that number.
For Shams Charania, senior NBA insider at ESPN.
45%.
We'll give. That's a really good shooting.
Exactly. Shams is right,
That's
too.
a really good.
That's leading
19.
the NBA.
Exactly.
Percentage.
That's tough. That's putting a lot of burden on my guy right there.
Okay,
No, it's
30
not.
people will win $500.
Okay.
If Foxy is able to hit over 8.5 NBA threes out of 20 shots, I think you just shoot 2 from all 5 spots and then go back. So you hit 4 in this corner, and then you'll hit 2 everywhere else. Okay, here we go. Shams, I don't know how busy you are, and if you want to stick around and watch, or if you need to head out, either or is all good. All Foxy has to do is hit over 8.5 NBA threes here out of 20. All right, 0 for 1.
All right.
Right.
It's a warm-up. It's okay.
Oh, no.
That's a good looking shot, though.
He's got to go 8 for 18.
I think that's a good.
Oh, no.
Come on now, Fox.
Oh, no. There it is.
There you go. There you go.
Top ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's 1 for 4.
Right there.
Evan Fox out of Michigan.
Bang.
2 for 5.
He found his rhythm.
It's all right. It's okay. Hey, we're still in a good spot.
On pace.
Currently 2 for 6. Has to hit 7 more.
Bang.
Has to hit 6 more.
Okay.
Got nothing but time, brother.
Yeah, I got.
Ooh.
That was down.
Where are we at right now?
3 of 8.
Okay, there's 4.
Boom.
Do corner.
Tough corner.
Doing its thing.
Give it to him in the pocket, bro.
What is that, 6?
5
of 10.
5. He's currently hit 5.
Hey, Bruce, AJ said better passes.
Oh.
Yeah, come on, Bruce.
5 of 11.
Snap him off, Bruce.
Oh,
here we go.
5 of 12.
That's a big one.
He's got it.
Foxy trying to hit over 8.5 NBA threes out of 20 shots.
All right, we're here.
Currently sitting at
Size of
5.
You got this.
These are size 31 waist.
Bang.
Splash!
Big shot. Big shot.
6 of 14.
6 of 14.
Is that 6 or 7?
6. Has to hit 3 more shots.
Got it, 5.
He's got 5 left.
Boom.
Big
Huge shot. Ladies and gentlemen, if Evan Fox is able to hit.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's 8. If he makes this, he is at 9 out of 18. Currently shooting at a 50% clip from NBA 3. Oh, you gotta make that. Gotta make that. I mean, especially with the way we were celebrating.
Bang.
Bang! Oh,
Okay.
9 is the right number. Congratulations, Foxy. 30
Hey, he
people.
surprised me.
30 people, $500. All you got to do is repost this post, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you. That's all because our friend Sham Sharania put a next in line out, and Evan Fox went in splash tab
That was
all over the fucker.
Should have been so much better, to be honest.
Agreed. That was some of your worst shooting that I've ever
Ever.
seen, but the winners win. 30 of them, $500. We appreciate you.
Wow.
We appreciate you, Shams. Have a good one, brother.
One more tidbit.
Sure.
Dean Wade of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's been out for the last several games. He's been out for the last few weeks, a couple weeks with an ankle injury, I believe. He will be back in the lineup tonight. The Cavs are 13-0 with him in the lineup. They are right now, I think, 18-3. So this is a team that's 13-0 with him, and if my math is right, 5-3 without him. But he will be back tonight. Dean Wade of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Love Dean Wade basketball.
That boy, D-Wade.
And that Dean Wade, yeah,
D-Dubs
of
is what
Wade
they're calling
County,
him.
Cleveland, over there. The entire Cleveland area is pumped about that because this Cavs team's a real deal. Browns lose on.
They're rolling.
They are.
They're rolling. I don't know if BC has any fear in his heart.
Don't
You,
give
BC.
a fuck about Cleveland.
What are you talking about?
We played Cleveland. Do you recall last
Oh
year?
yeah,
in the
you
playoffs?
guys. And you played them this year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens down the road. Let's see what happens when we get to the playoffs.
They had a big win.
Big win.
I mean, you
Huge
can't
win.
deny it. Donovan Mitchell went off on.
Huge win, bad call at the end of the game. But once again, we'll see what happens if they have the legs to actually last, which they don't.
Did I see a clip where Donovan Mitchell said he's blind out there? He's got the Jameis Winston thing going pre-LASIK. Did you see that?
I did. I saw that. Yeah.
I think
he's like LeBron shooting at 3 rims.
Yeah, he said glasses, contacts, he can certainly see better, but he can't shoot as well. So he goes out there with bad eyes.
Supposed to be worried about this team?
I think you should. The guy can't see the hoop.
I don't think so.
That's crazy.
I think I saw it on a podcast. You saw the same thing?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, he said that.
I did not see it.
Shams, we need you to get to the bottom of it. How many blind basketball players are out
I'm on
there
it.
getting buckets? That's phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Sharon. Yeah, I had those glasses on. It was like, I see really good right now.
When with Channing, with Crowder. I think he was talking to Channing Crowder and the crew.
Was it the pivot?
I'm not positive, but I feel like I saw Channing react to that, to his statement.
Could have, yeah. Okay, so it was on the pivot. Yeah, the way I listened and heard it was, it is blurry.
Can't see.
It is very blurry.
So he's saying he currently needs LASIK.
No, he doesn't want it. Like
Doesn't want it. He wants to play blind. He plays blind. Like that's how he plays. I guess.
He said contacts definitely make me have better vision, but I can't shoot with it. So he's out there, and he said, you know how LeBron said that one time that there's 3 hoops, you shoot for the middle one. I guess he said that's why it got brought up. And then Ryan Clark, oh yeah, it was Ryan Clark, because then Ryan Clark took some shots at LeBron about he was lying, is what Ryan Clark said to end the clip, which obviously started its own world in of itself. But the guy's blind shooting, he's light it up.
Legend.
Light it up.
Bucket. That's insane.
You guys gotta be worried about that.
Not even a little bit, brother. We got the best team in the league by a lot. I mean,
I didn't even think about this. Foxy's fucking blind too. Remember?
Oh yeah, he can't see shit.
Very blind.
The guy can shoot.
Yes, he can.
Not today.
You do.
You got it done, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
still
take
won,
it. That was
Foxy.
bad.
Win's a win.
No warm up, fresh out of chair.
Come on, stop talking poor on yourself, Fox.
That's right. Be careful what you say about yourself. You're listening.
Yeah, bingo.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Fingers are pointing back at you, brother.
Well, he would be doing this right here. We don't like that.
10 coming right at you.
That would hurt.
It would. Especially if you do it all day, every day, Foxy. You hit the over, pal. Who cares?
Yeah, you're right.
Good work, Fox.
And we have a championship right now. So.
Senior NBA. You're right. I don't like what I just saw, but.
Got him out of the system.
Okay, good.
There it is.
Senior NBA insider says good number for somebody? 8. 8, he said. We go above that, 8.5, and you hit the over. That's senior NBA insider speaking. Bud, you're the guy.
I'll take it.
Fox.
I'll take it.
I think 45% would lead the NBA.
Shams can shoot, right?
Actually can shoot. Well, I shouldn't have said that. That sounds very rude. I did not mean it that way. But when we saw him, we were all surprised. Then whenever he shot, we all went, whoa.
Shams be hooping.
No, you can say that.
Shams do be hooping, don't he?
He do be hooping.
You should see the Woj ball get warm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's general manager of
He
basketball.
can dunk from the free throw line. I heard.
Stroking.
He's doing the double pump
Logo.
with the tongue out.
Kirkjian can I think he still throws high 90s.
He does.
What was that?
Tim Kirkjian. Is that right?
Is he here? I don't know if he's here or not.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go on what AJ's saying because he's just being an asshole. Obviously, Tim Kirkjian doesn't have a 95-mile-an-hour fastball anymore. He's 5'4", and he weighs 115 pounds. You think a guy like that's throwing 95?
Ty, you're right. I don't know if that size body is capable to produce enough force to be able to do that. Baseball is happening right now, though, Ty. I heard Rob Manfred, obviously, the commissioner of the MLB, said, you might have a chance to just put somebody in to fucking hit whenever you want. What's going on here? I like baseball's becoming a state fair
I'm
thing.
all for it. Love it on this.
This is state fair.
Yeah, it's cool. This is the most fucking Mickey Mouse thing ever to happen to baseball. Let's do a golden at bat. So at any point in the game, no matter where you're at in the order, you can just say, nope, we want our fucking big bopper to come up. Great idea. What is this, fucking T-ball? Get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. Rob Manfred, what are you doing?
What do you mean? He was just floating it out there.
Brainstorm.
Have a cool gold bat for whoever goes up there.
So can Ohtani hit twice? So let's say Ohtani hits first, and he hits second, then boom, boom.
I would assume
There's a ghost runner.
You got to remember, it's not Ohtani, though. They would say this is Shohei Gold Tawny. He would have to put on the gold gloves. I think he would have certain gloves you got to put on. Certain gold bat.
Gold vest or jersey or something.
Pitcher has to throw a gold ball.
Gold cleats.
Yeah, it's a whole presentation, And and there's music, obviously, with the gold ball getting trotted in from the outfield. I think Rob Manfred's actually the one running it in. It's gold ball with sparklers and flares coming off of it.
Oh, yeah. Leaving the
like
park.
a bottle?
Oh, yeah.
Like bottle service?
And also, bingo, it is. There's actually people coming with
golden at bat
with like a board that's able to do this. Yeah, the bat also gets brought. Same presentation from the same exact spot in the outfield, one after another. And if that gold ball, let's say, pitcher throws it and ends up in the dirt, they don't have another one.
No,
so it's same ball.
What if he fouls it off into the crowd?
He throw it back.
Throw it back in.
Got to go back, get it.
It's hilarious. I thought it was state fair whenever I heard it.
I thought it was a joke, and then it's like, no.
It'd be fun, though. It'd be fun to see him try it out a little bit.
Hit that golden buzzer like it's America's Got Talent, too.
Yeah. That would be cool.
The manager comes running out. Boom, boom. And then Shohei lifts his hands up like this, and these gold gloves come floating down. And he goes walking out with the bat.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. I'm liking it. You don't like it? We don't like it.
I'm in.
I almost
hate it.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. That's not baseball. It's just there's no need to do that.
Puts on gold glasses like those tactical ones that they're selling at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
those the Dahmers.
If they're going to do all of this shit that we just laid out, I'm in.
But they
won't. But they won't. It'll be some Mickey Mouse rollout, and it's going to suck. You just don't do that, okay? Guess what? The guy batting in the 7 hole is making like $40 million a year. So fucking get in the box and hit, okay? We're not doing like a, actually we're gonna take the leadoff hitter and bring him back up here for the golden at bat. We'll put a ghost runner on first base. I mean, what the fuck are we doing?
What are you talking about? Ghost runner would be so sick. I would choose to have the fast ghost runner. Personally, my ghost runner would be stealing bases all the time.
Well, that's what's happening next. Is they're gonna be, for 2 innings of the game, you can put a ghost runner on, and he can steal as many bases as you want.
So I could hit myself in technically.
Probably, yeah.
Shohei's gonna have RBIs, stolen bases, and home runs all in one at bat.
Yeah, he could.
Baseball's awesome again.
I love it.
I don't know.
Baseball.
I think they're going to do the Savannah Bananas rule too, where if someone in the crowd catches it, it counts as an at.
Gonna have good eyes on that gold ball.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be tough whenever it gets in the crowd.
It's gonna be glowing.
No, that's the gold dust on it.
Oh, yeah, so it kind of has like a trail.
Like Dusty.
Baseball could be really good again.
Yeah, I hope they do it.
Well, if they also let them
juice.
Let's light the ball on fire too.
I like that more than the
I'm in.
golden at bat deal.
The fire or the juice.
What if you had a money ball? A money ball, sometimes if he strikes you out, it's 2 outs. If you hit a homer, it's 2 extra
I
runs.
would like to get back to what the fire or the juice.
Both.
Both.
Okay.
I'm good with guys juicing. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, it's not a waiver, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to put it into
Call
your
Jet,
body,
call
you
Jet,
be okay with the repercussions.
Let's call Jet Bassin.
And who
You're going to be able to hit dongs, brother. These gold balls are going to be flying out of stadiums. But you're going to be taking 10 to 20, 30 years off the back end of life.
Okay. Whatever.
They were hitting monster balls back then.
Maybe you get to use a metal bat on your golden at bat.
Oh. Is that good or bad for these?
You got to put a cage in front of the pitcher, though, so he doesn't get his head taken off. But
yeah, these guys would be fucking hitting it 800 feet.
It'd be so fun to watch.
So we just fixed the home run derby all of a sudden?
Well, see, the issue is with the home run derby particular, you got a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds
Knock, get
running
them
in
off.
the outfield.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
them
they'd have to because 6 or 7 of those kids would die.
Or put them in Knights gear.
That's now there's an
I'm
idea.
not talking about hockey gear.
No,
yeah,
yeah,
you're talking
the round table.
Yeah. Give them swords too. Fuck it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do get out. They joust a little bit for the ball.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Passan did not answer our cold FaceTime. That's been happening, huh?
It has been. He's fucking knee deep in the hot stove right now, so that makes sense.
My wife kind of gave me shit yesterday. 0 for 2 on cold FaceTimes yesterday. What's that all about?
Who?
We on this show.
No, Shefty answered.
No, he called back.
That's a win.
Who else didn't answer?
That's a
Yeah,
win.
with everything going on.
Yeah,
Callback's a win.
I'm
He's got a
pissed
lot
at Jet Passan. Jet, we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live.
Love it.
Ty fucking hates this gold at bat, but I want to let you know. He says it's a little state fairy. He wants to say that it's a little bit ridiculous. It is Mickey Mouse. No offense to anybody that it could potentially take offense to that. We have brainstormed some wonderful concepts to add to this. Maybe it is a gold ball that is thrown, a gold bat. Those are both presented as if it's a nightclub with bottle service from the outfield. There's golden gloves that you have to wear whenever you're the gold at bat. What are your thoughts on it, and what is the likelihood of this actually becoming a thing? Once again, we are live, and if you don't want to give a take on this, it is 100% okay.
No, totally happy to give a take on this. I think it's a terrible idea.
Thank you, Jet.
The golden at bat, and I think everything you just suggested is a terrible idea
No.
too. And you can leave the freaking game alone, and it will still be really good. You don't need to spice things up and take away from what baseball actually is. What it's
Tell them about the
supposed to be,
fireball.
because
Gotta eat
that
balls,
game
though.
is good enough, and I don't understand why people want to tinker beyond what we have already. The pitch clock has done wonders. Don't get too far out over your skis. Not worth it.
Okay, you bring up a lot of good points, and I appreciate it. Ty was saying the same exact thing as you. I didn't mention to you.
All right, let me reconsider that.
Oh, okay. You fucking pipsqueak.
You're getting
Shut
mocked.
up, Jet.
You're getting mocked very loudly in my ear right now. You can't hear.
Fine. I am glad to get mocked.
What about
because
what about the ball getting dipped into gasoline and it being on fire?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Thoughts?
I would, you know what? I would be down for the fireball.
Now we're good.
actually.
Okay.
I've had some fireball nights myself,
Hell yeah.
and
guy
they
boozes.
usually end up going great. So if we're talking about a ball that is lit aflame, totally on board with that.
Okay, so we're saying this is probably not going to happen, though?
No, I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, here's the thing. It wouldn't shock me if they tested it out in, like, an independent league or in the All-Star game. I
There
think
you go,
it's
do it in the
perfect for the
All-Star
All-Star game.
Metal bats, home run
Like,
derby.
if you want to give Ohtani an extra at bat, or if you want to give Aaron Judge an extra at bat, or Juan Soto, hey, be my guest. That's great. But in an actual Major League Baseball game, hard pass.
Okay, how about metal bats, All-Star game, home run derby, kids in outfield have to wear a knight's costume like back in the medieval times?
Hell yeah.
100% on board with that. I have been asking for metal bats in the home run derby for a decade and a half now, so big thumbs up on that one.
Happy we can all see it the same way. We appreciate you, Jet. You're the man.
Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure.
See ya. These baseball people hate the idea of evolving.
Any kind of change they just don't like.
But we did.
Not really.
We broke
just
some ground.
Had a massive change to the game, so don't really need another one like this that completely changes everything.
And I do think we potentially made a mockery out of the idea.
No, I think if you're going to do it, then you make a mockery out of it. If you're going to do something that changes the game and is a stupid fucking idea, and the commissioner has no nutsack, so he's just going to, people suggest it, and he just says, that's a great idea. Let's do that, instead of saying, hey, we don't need to do that. We just changed a lot with baseball, and it did. It made the games quicker. Made it a little bit better. But if we're gonna do this bullshit, then you're right. Let's do the bottle service. Let's make it a real mockery, because that's what we're already doing. So we might as well take it, 10x.
And on that note, let's get out of here. We're trying to help sports, not hurt it. But if we got bad ideas, let's try to make them a little better.
Back to the drawing board.
You're right.
It's the only way you find good ideas, right?
No, I disagree. I think good ideas can just come, and they're there. And I think bad ideas can come, and nothing good can come from them. I think that is possible. But whenever people say there's no bad ideas, there's a lot of bad ideas that come from that. But there's a lot of good ideas that come from bad ideas. And that's all Rob Manfred's trying to do.
I guess.
What would the NFL equivalent be?
So, remember when they were trying to change the extra point?
Yeah.
We pitched, and by we, I mean me.
The platform, right?
Yeah, platform on the sideline. Have it raise up.
Mm-hmm.
If you score on the left side of the hash marks, you got to kick from the left stage that is coming up with a spotlight on it and smoke, and you got to kick like a rugby side kick. If you score on the right side, obviously the stage comes up from the other side. If you go down the middle, you see you got an opportunity to kick from the back onto the field, from right behind it, and you stand up on a stage. They got music.
All these fields really got a retrofit, huh?
I just didn't know what we were trying to do. And that is why I was never asked for another idea, because they were like, hey, they're trying to figure out how to save the extra point. You got any ideas? Absolutely.
Yep.
Let's fucking put a stage up there. Have that thing lift up like Rey Mysterio's old entrance.
Yep.
Yep.
Shit. Comes flying out. This is for 1 point,
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to the bathroom if that's taking place.
No way.
Nobody. Everybody's watching the extra point. They passed on it. I don't even know if they pitched it, to be honest.
Kicking a flaming ball would be sweet.
Possible, too, because you got, obviously, shoes on. And,
Yeah, the hole would be tough, but...
Yeah.
Going for
or just get some gloves, maybe.
Instead of onside kick, going for a 4th and 15 probably be the closest equivalent.
I think that's not a terrible concept, even though we've seen some successful onside kicks now because people are trying. I've always had an issue with the lack of effort by the kicking teams on onside kicks because they just had the excuse it's impossible to get them. It's like, maybe, but also maybe you hit a high hop that's real high, you could still get there. You could still have a chance, even though you're save it. But people aren't wasting any practice time to get better at them because mathematically it's impossible. So I think they did kind of kill the onside kick. But this year has been some success.
A lot of
There's been some success.
Ball sideways on ground.
Little chopper boy has been really helping out in a couple different occasions. So I'm happy it's back to having some success. But if it was going to continue to go the way that it was going, it was I was going to even get on board with we got to make this possible.
For sure.
For
Get Mahomes, get Allen, get Lamar out there. Give him another shot.
Jameis.
Get Jameis Winston.
They still need to change it back. You should be able to do an onside kick whenever. The whole having to tell the other team that you're going to do it is bullshit.
Yeah, I hate that.
Why do you have to tell them, though?
Because everybody's up front. Everybody's 30 yards away. Dude, that game kicked off last night, and I'm in my kitchen, and I just look up at the screen, and I'm holding, Mackenzie, and I'm like, that looks so fucking stupid. The kicker, the fucking...
Yeah.
And it's they're trying to save the play because it is electrifying. And when there has been returns, especially with the weather, there's going to be more returns with this rule. So I appreciate what they're trying to do with it all and everything like that. But it's going to take a while for me to be that looks professional because it just does. It just looks weird.
Practice.
It looks like a practice rep.
First year.
Mickey Mouse.
Bingo. We'll get used to it. Yeah. Just like the 33-yard extra point, I think looked weird for a while.
Yep.
Now it's just kind of standard operating procedure. So it's we'll get used to it, but they have to get more returns out of that because it can't just be a weird-looking touchback as opposed to just a standard-looking touchback. And I think as the weather's changing, we're seeing more, but I don't know what the numbers are going to say inevitably. But I hope kickoff, because whenever, old buddy Turpin, that was changed the game.
Yep.
Changed the game just like that.
There was
Debo was back for a couple. It's
he's been back there a lot more now because he's so good at it.
Changed the game.
Yeah.
These things change the game.
The weather this last weekend, you could tell in these cold games, there was a lot more returns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think as the weather turns, guys aren't just going to be able to blast them out. And with the lack of momentum that the coverage team has, you do have an advantage. Even if it's 2 yards deep, if you are able to get going, you got a weapon back there. So that's good. I think there's good coming from it. But it's going to take a bit for me to be That looks natural. That looks like football. Because instead it just looks like, that's weird for the kicker too. I'm happy I didn't have to do that. Like whenever you had to do the punt after a safety, and you were with people still, but you had no snapper, I had to simulate a snap. So like practice rep, simulate a snap, catch it, and then do the thing. But it always felt so weird. Like it was.
I guess you did. That's what you were doing. Yeah, I see guys do that. They're simulating the snap there.
Yeah, because in practice, if you don't have a snapper and you're just kicking, you're going to fake the snap every single time. You're going to toss the ball and snap, throw the ball off the ground and snap because there's no reason for you not to. Hands are the most important thing. We learned that obviously Indiana, Ohio State. That kicker or that punter learned that. For punters, like the hands are obviously you got to be able to kick a ball. That is but the hands are like the most important thing. If you have bad hands, everything else is not going to work. You have good hands, you see the ball longer. You can put it on a platter a little bit easier. The drop is a little bit softer because you're not like, you have a little
snap. The snap doesn't have to be absolutely perfect every time.
Bingo. Yeah, you can make it happen. So the hands matter. But yeah, simulate snap right there. Somebody told me they wanted to punt against me in Mr. Beast's pro versus amateur thing. I almost responded saying, buddy, if I was to punt right now, I'd fucking tear 14 muscles.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. You think you're so fucking smart? Okay. Think you can beat me? All right. I will tear this fucking leg off my body before you beat me. And with that being said, I don't have 6 months to rehab at all.
No.
I kicked 2 free kicks. Got a blood pool in my leg. This thing's retired.
Good run.
Done good.
But I can still kick heads off if I have to.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The Miz. I thought I broke his neck.
Oh, he was the one you said.
He responded all after we were talking about his golf.
That was a cold call.
Yeah, did he get back to you?
He never answers though.
Yeah.
He's on the course. He's grinding away.
Let's see if the Miz answers after another Browns loss. He actually listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
Which, Ty, every single day we appreciate you putting it together.
You bet.
People still listen to podcasts. We like to say we appreciate those people that listen to the podcast.
Ton of people.
Yeah, real. It's like an actual number.
It's Nuge. Mike Nuge listens.
A lot of people.
There's another great podcast.
He never sees it.
We're live. You're always live. Amen. Thank you for that.
What are you talking about?
Well, we're talking about yesterday you didn't answer, which we were very fucking pissed off because we were absolutely ragdolling your golf game. Okay, so we're past.
Golf game.
Yeah. We're talking about how terrible you are and everything like that.
I'm getting better, and I think I'm actually going to drop a YouTube golf channel.
I love it.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm looking forward to because when I go back to the ACC, I plan on dominating and being the biggest golfer out there and being the best golfer out there. And I'm going to spend the next 6 months dedicating myself and getting myself better so I beat you, I beat AJ. If you even come, I don't know if you have to do your stupid soccer stuff.
Likelihood
Go
low.
your little soccer thing that you did last year where you're like, oh, this is too much for me. I can't do the golf and the soccer. I got to do my soccer stuff.
Well,
so what are you
soccer
doing?
stuff's
Are you
over.
going to go to the ACC or what?
Soccer stuff's over, I will say. We'll see.
Oh, no.
We'll see about the American Century
It's over? Is your hammy okay?
It was a hip flexor. Thanks, Miz.
Back or what?
It was a hip flexor, and it is back. Just want to let you know. And you should know that better than anybody because I kicked your fucking head off at WrestleMania. Anyways, Dumpy just called you a bitch, too. You don't have ears. You can't hear it. He's in the back.
This is what you guys got. This is your moment. So have your moment.
No, my moment was at WrestleMania. I kicked your head off 1, 2, 3, undefeated still. George Kittle ragdolled you as well. Let's talk about the Browns.
Yeah, you had to have George Kittle help you out, which is fine.
No, you chose to start something with George Kittle. That's on you. That's on me. I certainly accepted the help.
I didn't start it. George Kittle sat in the front row and celebrated you and not me. I made 20 years I've been in WWE. 20 years. And he decided, I want to represent Pat McAfee for the brand. I want to be for the brand. And the fact is, I've been into WWE, and I am the brand.
Okay, all right. Well, obviously, we appreciate your dedication to WWE over the last 20 years. You're a phenomenal superstar, which is why it's even more amazing that I just came out of a bus that I was sitting in for 10 hours, kick your fucking head off, and beat you.
Crazy.
Let's move forward, though. Speaking of losing, you, the Browns, how do we feel about where the Cleveland Browns season is, and what's the future look like, Miz?
Well, I enjoyed the pregame speech by Jameis Winston. I enjoyed the 500 yards thrown by Jameis Winston, but I did not like the pick six by Jameis Winston. So I'm hoping, and I've been hoping for, that this next year we get a new quarterback and we dedicate ourselves. Honestly, I didn't want Mayfield to go. I have been very vocal in the fact that I was a big Baker Mayfield fan from the beginning. I thought he had the moxie of a Cleveland Brown, and we got rid of him, and I really dislike that, especially now because he's having so much success. I knew he was going to have success, but it's typical what we do. Next year, we'll get a new quarterback. Stefanski will be able to guide him and show him the light, and we will be in the Super Bowl talks next year.
Okay. All right. You're going to take like a $79 million cap hit if you move on from Deshaun. Are you cutting him? Or
It's fine because we will be able to have a new quarterback. We'll be able to guide him and go, and we already have what we need in the
He
Browns.
doesn't know.
Show him the light.
Guide him.
All right, Miz, we appreciate you, man.
Am I done? Oh, you're done with me. That's it. So you FaceTimed me yesterday. You gave me a bunch of stuff about yesterday not doing it, and now you're like, all right, we're done.
We got it all.
Yeah.
Yesterday would have been a preview. Yesterday would have been a. Yesterday would have been a.
All our friends on, and now I get it.
Yesterday would have been a preview of the Browns Broncos. A lot more to talk about in a preview than a post game when you lose. You know. So there would have been a. But you didn't answer. You're busy. You're working. I assume you're always working.
I am. I answered everything you asked me. Every single question I answered.
No, you didn't answer the call yesterday.
Oh, well, I was busy. I have Monday Night Raw every Monday on Raw. And guess what? January 6th.
How'd you turn on our truth?
Netflix.
Hey, what happened with New Day? How come you didn't go out there and say, Kofi, Xavier, enough? You're not talking to Big E like that, huh?
I'm glad they did that.
Whoa.
I think we should celebrate the fact that Kofi and Xavier are coming to terms with who they are and what they need to do to succeed in WWE. And it's get rid of the excess baggage, which is Big E.
Oh!
This guy's an asshole.
You're a terrible
Get
guy.
him out.
You're a terrible guy.
I'm terrible. You just said you kicked my head off at WrestleMania.
Good job.
That guy.
That was
About time.
He didn't read Big E's story on Players Tribute.
Clearly not.
Is he still the tag team champ?
He's still talking. I bet you he's still talking right now.
For sure.
No, he is not.
Let's get out of here. I don't like that.
It's golf games rounding in form, it sounds like.
If you see a Miz in public, you go ahead and grab a dude wipe.
Yeah.
Because what you're walking into is a little poop walking into you.
Mm-hmm.
Dude wipes right now for 15 years is a long time to live with a brown streak.
Oh, no.
Okay? The Miz knows this.
Yeah.
It's been 15 long years since the Cleveland Browns have had a return touchdown.
Wild.
That's a long brown streak. If and when that streak ends this year, Dude Wipes will be giving one person $100,000.
Wow.
All you gotta do is scan this QR code to enter. And obviously, if you're not wiping your cheeks with Dude Wipes, what are you doing? I know it might have been taboo back in the day. I'll use baby wipes to wipe my ass. I'll use cardboard if need be. Boys, let me tell you, life's a lot better with the Dude Wipe life.
Big time.
You know, the cheeks rubbing together, maybe a little monkey butt feel. Did it get all right? Dude Wipes is a bidet on the go. Only need one. Only need one. You can even fold that thing up. Get a second wipe out of a Dude Wipe.
Easy.
And then whenever your cheeks are clean, guess what your day's going to be? Better.
Well said.
You don't want it dry. You want it wetter. You want to clean it up to make it better. Dude Wipes. A portable bidet for your ass. Make your cheeks better with Dude Wipes.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Right here. Right here.
It's well said.
Best of the best.
Plant sourced fiber.
Oh, so nice.
Saving the environment.
Maybe. Definitely saving my cheeks. Definitely saving my cheeks.
Starts with you.
Saving your environment.
Only you can prevent chafed cheeks.
Yep.
In the way you stop that is you Dude Wipe those things.
That's right.
Austin Collie, first person that I'd been around, training camp, rookie year, had the moist towelettes in the bathroom, public bathroom. I go in there, 1:30 a.m., about to drop something off in a big way.
Sure.
I guess he had been in there beforehand. It was right on top of the toilet paper thing. I was like, let me give this a go. I floated back to my bedroom. I floated back.
Yeah.
Next morning at breakfast, I was like, who had the baby wipes in the thing? Austin Coley, that's me, brah. Got to do it, brah. I go, you do? And he goes, every dump, brah. And I'm like, Smart. He did it on, I think when he went on a mission to Argentina, that's when it all started. He started doing everything down there. And it's like, since Dude Wipes has been created, made it a lot easier. You can find these things everywhere.
Incredible.
And it's great for the cheeks.
Best of the best.
Really is. I think Caboli says he wipes and he toilet papers and he wipes again. If you want a triple stamp, a double stamp, you certainly can. But I'm telling you, you only need one wipe for one flush. And you keep it moving.
I can't even imagine what he was dealing with the other day.
What are you talking about, after Thanksgiving?
He sent me a picture of that. I didn't even think about that. He sent me a picture of the Skyline chili in the press box in Cincinnati.
Oh, boy.
Going in, it looks like that.
It looked.
Should have seen what it looked like coming out.
It looked like the worst.
Imagine how loud that is in the bathroom.
Poor household.
God. That is
I wonder if they do like a let the bodies hit the floor type celebration when Mark Caboli walks in there. People just open the door.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
And if those cheeks aren't wiped with Dude Wipes, I don't know how he gets from A to B. I assume those cheeks would lock him down.
That's how he tore his Achilles.
Both of them. Let's get out of here. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Like?
Dude Wipes.
Dude Wipes.
We're in this thing together. Never forget it. Team on me. Team on three. Foxy, great shooting today, buddy.
Good day, Foxy.
Thank you, brother.
Come on, Fox.
Here's a picture of Caboli before it went in.
Oh,
That's
my
what it looked
goodness.
like before it got into Caboli's.
What?
Are we sure?
Are there beans in there?
In that?
That's Ohio, brother. That's your hometown.
No, Skyline's legit, but I mean, that doesn't look good.
Imagine what that looked like after it went through a Caboli.
Yeah, he
Bro,
drank.
Caboli's
the
probably
whole
yelling.
thing.
It's a little lighter.
Like yelling in the
He
bathroom.
picked it up and drank the whole thing.
Put it in his growler.
Team on me, team on three. Supposed to put water in there, I think.
He does chili.
1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.